A shakeup in order for President Biden's COVID team.
The White House announced Thursday Biden's COVID-19 coordinator, Jeff Zients, and his deputy, Natalie Quillen, are leaving the administration next month. Stepping in to head the new White House COVID-19 team will be Dr. Ashish Jha, the dean of the Brown University School of Public Health. The change comes as the White House moves to transition the nation from confronting COVID-19 to living with a less severe virus that is likely to remain endemic. To that end, Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra told the AP Thursday,
"We have reached a pivot point. How well we pivot is on us."
Mike Gracia, Washington.
Apparently, India's state-run oil company is helping to finance Putin's war in Ukraine. An Indian official says the Indian Oil Corporation purchased 3 million barrels of crude from Russia earlier this week. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Uh-huh.
Congratulations.
Good stuff.
You're here.
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
Yeah. Happy post-St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Still got a little green on, I see.
Oh, yeah. Every now and again, you gotta rock a little bit of it.
I do not have green on today. I did yesterday, but not today.
I made it. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to show you on the air, but I have green underpants on, too.
I will take your word for it.
That's right. They were lucky underpants. Weird thing is they were white when I started.
That's right. Well,
so,
you know, green with envy.
I know. You'll get there someday.
Did you have any sort of Irish fare yesterday?
No, not really. Just sort of stayed home. Didn't really. I mean, I veer away from a lot of the Irish meals.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've talked about my history with Irish cuisine.
I had some yesterday.
Did you? What'd you have?
So this is also the 103rd birthday right now of the American Legion.
Oh.
So we celebrated. Our American Legion post had a little potluck shindig, get together, hang out last night, partay, if you will, and had a good time. But and it was potluck, and so one of our folks brought a corned beef.
Nice.
It was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Well done, well cooked, and then also I had some delicious Irish soda bread.
Oh, nice.
With green butter.
Ooh.
Which was tasty.
Now, when you say green butter, you got to be careful these days.
Homemade churned butter that they made green.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Like old school in the jar.
Right.
Shaking the butter.
Because there's green butter, then there's green butter.
Yeah, no.
So there's, you got to be careful these days.
More a la Dr. Seuss, not a la Science Project.
A la Jerry Garcia.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
No, not that kind of butter. We're like, man, I want Funyuns.
This bread is delicious, but why am I hungry a half hour afterwards? It's crazy. Just saying, man, we're like a month away. Things are going to start eking their way into the regular world.
That's St. Patrick, man.
I don't know, dude. You guys tried the bread, yo? It's great.
Good dude, man. Good dude.
Solid.
Yeah, so I had me some delicious Irish foods yesterday, too.
I do got to say a happy belated birthday to one Dr. Keon Agger.
Oh, that's right. I saw on Facebook yesterday he was
I
celebrating
did not
birthday.
realize, I think he's told me this before, but I didn't realize his birthday is on St. Patrick's Day. So,
as is my sister-in-law.
Really?
Yesterday was her birthday.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, my wife and my sister-in-law, they're both on my mother-in-law's side, both have holiday birthdays. My wife being Halloween.
Halloween, right.
My sister-in-law being St. Patrick's Day.
At least they're not like the big ones. You never want to have like the birthday on or around Christmas.
Although one could argue Halloween, depending on your age, is a bigger one.
True.
Yeah.
A bigger, yes. And then St. Patrick's Day, yes.
Yeah.
And like so, like in the the realm of like lesser holidays, I would say Halloween is up there, definitely higher than like your Cinco de Mayo's, for example.
Depending as an adult, it's lesser. But if you're a child, I gotta say Halloween's number 2 holiday.
It depends on what kind of adult you are, though. Because I've seen
Easter and Halloween are going to be neck and neck.
Easter is a hard sell for grown-ups.
But I think because of the volume of candy on Halloween, that's got to be a bigger sell for kids than Easter.
Easter's a hard sell for grown-ups. Kids are in because of the candy.
Well, they show up on
kids are always in because of the candy.
The basket of delicious candy.
If we're talking about this as far as like the sell for adults, I think Halloween takes it because Halloween is one of those holidays where adults allow themselves to be children for a night.
As is St. Patrick's Day.
To an extent, yes. In places like Boston, sure. But it's not nearly as like prolific, or not nearly as like, it doesn't permeate the space sphere as much as like a Halloween does.
Yeah.
Where you see everybody acting like children.
Yes. And naughty insert job profession here costume.
Right. We act like children if children were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah. I gotta before I thank McDonald's, which I will here in a second, I do have to congratulate the New Mexico State Aggies basketball team. They pulled the upset last night, defeating UConn.
Oh, what a bracket buster that is!
It is 70-63. They just busted all kind of brackets last night.
They just defeated half of anybody who did brackets.
Well, it's the biggest upset so far. They almost had one as equally as big on the other side of the bracket. Michigan, the 11 seed, beat the 6 seed Colorado.
Really?
That was almost. The New Mexico is a 12. UConn was a 4 seed. I mean a 5 seed.
Right.
And so that one's bigger, but it's almost now. It's still an uphill battle for the Aggies. They're the 12th seed on their side of the bracket.
At this point, call it a win because you guys.
Well, yeah, they just got farther than anybody thought that they were going to get. But now they got to play the 4 seed Arkansas Saturday.
Ooh.
But that was a huge win. So there's always those Cinderella stories every year in the tournament. Maybe our Aggies.
And this year we get to be a part of one.
Yeah, so
nice.
Congrats to them.
Absolutely.
And big thank you to McDonald's. They do this every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. And if you're hungry, they can provide you with delicious breakfast treats this morning as well, too.
That's right, Mackie.
Swing on by any of your McDonald's, including the brand new, still got new car smell, South Main McDonald's.
You know what's really cool about that location? Is the way they have it, the entrance is set up. It's a very ergonomic building.
There's a lot of science there.
There's a lot of space that you don't feel crowded.
Gotcha.
Because one of the things about the old South Main McDonald's, it was a very tight space. It was kind of felt a little crowded.
Yeah.
This one, it's wide open. There's a lot of open area. There's seating, but it's spread out enough to where you don't feel crowded in. But the really cool thing is they've got the digital kiosks set up right next to the play place. You never actually have to interact with a human being if you don't want to, because there's an entrance right in the play place.
Okay.
I'm thinking from the perspective of a parent here.
I gotcha.
Used to be that was the emergency exit. There's no emergency exit there. You can just walk in, walk out. You can go to your digital kiosk, take care of the food, get it delivered right to your table. Boom, bada boom.
Well,
yeah, it's fantastic. You can do all your business right here in this back half of the restaurant. You don't ever have to go over here. If you don't want to. You can.
Yeah, you can if you want.
But you don't have to.
If you want to walk away to the counter and talk to live people and interact, you can do that.
Sure.
Too. And don't forget, while you're partaking in the new South Main McDonald's, don't forget to download the McDonald's app.
Indeed.
To your smartphones. It's free, of course. And with it, you're in the club. You get to get exclusive deals. You can accrue reward points.
Yes.
And save them towards free food later down the road as you collect your reward points.
I will give you a pro tip on that. If you are a points person, order from the downtown McDonald's.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm guessing it's because they haven't set it up yet. The north and south locations don't do loyalty points yet.
Okay.
So order from the downtown location to get your points.
Okay.
You can use your points at any location.
Got you. But to accrue them, you
Yes.
must go to the middle, the downtown McDonald's. The middle one.
The middle Donald's, yep.
Go the one in the middle.
Yep. Not here or here so much, but right here.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, swing on by, get you. Did they do Shamrock Shakes this year?
Yes. And matter of fact, they're doing the Shamrock Shakes and the Shamrock Oreo McFlurry.
Oh,
Yes.
that might be good.
It's real good.
Thinking that's almost like a little Girl Scout
it's a
cookie.
thin mint.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very thin minty in essence.
That should be a term. Thin minty.
Thin minty. All one word. Thin minty.
Or a wrestler.
I feel like it's a hard
Welcome
sell.
to the ring, Thin Minty.
Thin minty. It's a hard sell. Then again, they pulled off the Shockmaster.
Hey, or maybe a band like Thin Lizzy, Thin Minty.
Thin minty.
Maybe
I
a
like
tribute
it.
band.
That's what I'm thinking. A tribute band. Yeah.
Thin Lizzy tribute band and Girl Scout cookie, Thin Minty.
Just trying to think of how to rework Boys Are Back in Town. The girls are back in town.
With fresh breath. Because they got Retson.
It's Retson. God bless Retson.
Oh, man.
Put a company on the map.
That's right. From the makers of Retson. Come Thin Minty. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to be joined this hour by one Frederick Sosa from Richland. I wonder if he ever goes by Frederick. Does maybe his parents call him Frederick or something?
Maybe.
Frederick Sosa.
Maybe his parents were cool and just actually named him Freddie.
Because he doesn't go by Fred.
No.
I've never called him Fred.
Hi, Fred Sosa here.
Never called him Fred.
Fred Sosa.
Frederick.
If he ever, I will say this: if he ever gets his own car lot, he needs to go by Fred Sosa, because Fred Sosa Chevy that has a ring to it. Hi, Fred Sosa from Fred Sosa's GMC. It is. It just has a ring to it.
So we'll work on that for him. But
but it all starts here.
It all starts right here. That's right. So Freddie is going to join us here in just a few minutes. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15 or so, we're going to have Chaves County Manager Bill Williams join us. Yesterday, Chaves County Commission met, so we're going to talk recap and highlights from that meeting. And then we got a pair of guests in the 9 o'clock hour. We're going to have Bob Power join us for a few minutes to talk about a big dance they've got happening over at Westminster Presbyterian Church tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Cibolo Springs, Cindy Richards, Marvin Roberts, all going to be performing at the dance tomorrow. And then Ray Lynn Bean will also join us in the 9 o'clock hour from Central Valley Electric Cooperative. CVE is having their annual meeting in Artesia tomorrow. And we want to remind and recommend all Central Valley Electric Cooperative members come out and participate in the annual meeting. Plus, we'll get any other kind of updates CVE has got going on from Raylene here this morning. Plus, we'll do all of your hourly features that include the news of the local and national variety, your Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and take a look at that weather. Not as windy today, but, still cooler 60s. Depending on your... 60 seems good to me, but some people don't agree.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking at low 60s today with cool high pressure moving in from the Rockies. We'll have plenty of sunshine and a little bit gusty wind, occasionally up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight will be clear, low 30s, and then we warm into the mid 70s with plenty of sun coming up for Saturday. A few clouds Saturday night, sunny and up to 80 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 70%. Winds out of the west at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today, 63 for a high. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Not too bad. Pretty nice day today. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 32 degrees. South winds at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Looking at your weekend, warmer tomorrow, sunny and 74 for your Saturday with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. Overnight low of 38 with south winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday, warm and windy. Yeah, winds will be back, but it will be warmer. Mostly sunny, high of 82. Winds out of the south early, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Later Sunday, increasing 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Sunday night, we do have a 20% chance of showers late, like after midnight. Otherwise, partly cloudy, overnight low of 44. They say it will be breezy then, too. And then Monday, we got a decent chance of rain, looks like 60% chance of rain on Monday. Partly cloudy, 66 for a high. 60% chance of rain Monday night as well, and a 50% chance of rain early Tuesday morning as well. So we might get some moisture Monday, Tuesday. Knock on wood, cross your fingers, do your dance, whatever it is. Get some of that. We need it. So hopefully it'll make it happen a little bit there. All right, 7:20. We got a 2.5-minute commercial break to take care of. We'll do that right now. And then Freddie Sosa with Richland will join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Get smoking hot deals during the sizzling savings event at Roswell Nissan. Like a 2015 Ford F-150 for just $307 a month, or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $149 a month. And join Roswell Nissan March 26th from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kiddos, and your chance to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 26th at 1, must be present to win. Get a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a portable grill and a chance at the cash grab just for stopping by. On now at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
Simon the Magician's request in Acts 8 was motivated by the same illusion of power that drives so many people in today's business, political, and entertainment areas. Popular culture invests actors, sports figures, and other celebrities with the appearance of unusual significance. Even among Christians, there exists a strong tendency to create power figures out of preachers, and singers, writers, and even megachurch leaders. But God's power has little or nothing to do with outward appearances or worldly acclaim. Simon had adopted the world's perspective on power. Showered with uncritical praise, he became obsessed with himself and his supposed importance. Tragically, he viewed others through the same distorted lens. What about you? Have you given in to the illusion of power? Or do you listen to those who aren't impressed with your status and will level with you about your weaknesses? How much do status and position define who you are? Suppose you were to lose it all. What would you do then? Just some thoughts.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Healthcare Center and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 7% of American adults, roughly 16.4 million Americans, believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. We don't know if they asked them where strawberry milk comes from. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Richland, we have one Freddie Sosa back with us. Good morning, Freddie.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself? I don't know if you heard earlier, but is it like, did anybody ever call you Frederick or Fred?
Frederick when I'm in trouble.
Okay.
And Fred, very few people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figure like family members, mom, dads, or something call you Frederick, right?
No, it's mainly Little Freddie or Little.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually Little Freddie.
But if you screw up, is it the full name? Yeah.
Frederick Roy Sosa Jr.
There you go. I get you. Yeah, my middle name's Patrick, and of course, my mother called me Michael. Right now, the only person alive that calls me Michael is my aunt and a friend of mine, but he does it because I think he does it to try to mess with me, but that's another reason altogether.
And it's funny when I go to visit my family in Midway and stuff. Everyone calls me Little Freddie or Little Roy.
Okay.
And so,
So it just whoever. If you get something that remotely sounds like your name, you just turn
if it's
around.
close enough. Most people just call me Sosa, honestly.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Probably at work and stuff too. It's more of a, like when I was in the military, everybody calls you by your last name.
Yeah, I wrestled when I was younger in high school and stuff. And so
sports is pretty common.
The last name kind of just stuck, and even when I page people at work, it's blank. Come see Sosa.
Although Sosa's, it's not uncommon, but it's it's a pretty common name. It's like there's a lot of other Sosas around.
Yeah, in this area there is.
Yeah, so that might not be enough information to get you to come there.
No.
Say Sosa, and 3 or 4 people are like, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
But you can yell Sosa out at Richland, and they'll know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
So, how's life in the car business right now? I know, of course, Richland with the Dodge dealership at the Y there, and the GM dealership. You guys got cover almost every make and model out there, and I'm sure you probably. I'm just curious when you see that. Are certain brand names coming in more than others? Like because you guys got Jeep, Dodge, Chevy, Chrysler, and then of course Chevy, the GM, and all those sides. So you kind of see a lot of different brands.
Yeah, the Chrysler.
I don't know if ones were showing up more than the others.
The Chrysler Dodge Jeep product is coming in a little bit faster, and more frequently. Excuse me. The GM stuff, we're still getting in 1 truck to maybe 2 trucks a week.
Okay,
but it could just be one thing off that truck.
Gotcha.
But on the Chevy side of it, that stuff when we put in orders gets picked up quite a bit faster than the GMC stuff.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But so that way when people come, because right now with the way inventory's been and stuff,
gotcha.
You got a whole lot of people just coming in, customizing and building their car.
Sure.
And we just let them know what it has the best chance of getting here the fastest, so that way they can make an educated decision themselves.
Which has really been the way of the world for the last year here as far as getting new vehicles. A lot of people are going and getting, it's like, hey, if I'm going to have to wait a little bit for a new vehicle, I might as well wait for one that's I picked. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's exactly the way you want it in a post.
Exactly.
Because a lot of the times when you walk into a dealership, it's and in years past, if you walked in and said, this is exactly what I want, we would go on the means to be able to find it and maybe trade for it. Sure. But those days have kind of ended. There's not a whole lot of people who are trading right now because inventory is so low. So coming in, customizing, building it exactly the way you want.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's the first time they're ever getting exactly what they want.
And that's a cool feeling.
Yeah. So
yeah. Well, I don't care. Because especially like for me, I didn't own a new car, like my own new car, till 5-6 years ago. I was kind of from them. I always bought used or leased or something. And so but there's something to be said the first time you get a new car, brand new, and your butt grooves, the only butt grooves have been put in that chair and all that stuff. It's a cool thing to say, you know what, no one's ever driven this but me. It's my car. And then if you go one step further, which is kind of the preferred way now, right in this moment, is where you go online and say, no, I want leather seats instead of cloth seats. I want it in this color. I want these rims, but I want this chassis. You really get to pick every single aspect of the vehicle here that you want. And depending on, time and stuff, you're willing to wait a little bit. But how often in people's lives do you get that customized car that's, I wanted this and it came this, but I wanted to head and get the bigger engine for my needs, or I wanted the third row seats or whatever it is, all of that stuff you get to pick, and so that vehicle in essence suits your needs perfectly instead of you having to compromise a little bit. Yeah,
and one of the things when you think about the lifespan of you owning a car, for people who order their car, when they come to trade that in 4, 5, 10 years later, those are usually the ones where the people take the best care of their car throughout their ownership.
Maintenance records are more meticulous.
Yeah, I mean, and just they've treated it a little bit better because it's something that they physically decided that this is what I'm going to get. This is how I built it. And so for us, we get kind of excited when someone comes in and orders a car. I mean, we're in the car business. We're in the business of right now. But if we don't have what they're looking for, we get excited because later on down the line, when it's time to trade that in, it's so much nicer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a better vehicle that will provide another home for somebody down the road here. And so really, so don't get discouraged, right? Because if you're seeing all that and we're all living in the same world. We all know what's going on in supply and demand, and there's nothing that's just easily accessible in this world at the moment. But don't let that discourage you from saying, no, I can still get a new vehicle. Great. And like you said, we were talking earlier, each week there's trucks coming in, on both sides, the GM side, the Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep side. There's still new vehicles coming. So if you just want to come in, look around and say, hey, new pickup comes in or something like that. But really utilize this way. That way you can, especially like I'm thinking you're farming and ranching people that maybe they don't want some of the fancier amenities on their vehicle, but they're going to want more of the rugged, you know what I mean? So they can build a truck that's, all right, look, I don't need power this and power that, but it's got to get me through my ranch. It's got to get me through so you can kind of build it more custom that way.
Yeah. And it's those like a work truck, something with rubber floors and stuff like that. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not the easiest stuff to have in stock.
Sure. Now you can customize all that.
Yeah.
Or if you want a little bit of both, you're like, no. If I want a work truck that's got, the rubber mats and all that stuff, but I want a work truck that's got a sound system, or I want a work truck that's, that's got the heated seats and the air conditioned seats or whatever it is. And so you can compromise if you want or pick and choose where you want your luxuries, where, if you're thinking,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't need the heated cup holder or whatever it is. I'm never drinking it fast enough to get cold, or whatever it is. So I don't need that. But, what would be handy is, my wife's going through menopause and that cooling seat really works out nice, Which, by the way, I've had a mother-in-law say that the cooling seat's the best thing for that time, ladies. Just telling you, just coming from experience there. Good deal. But let's talk service department and everything too, because I imagine your service departments have been busy here lately with because more people are holding on to cars, more people, so they're taking care of them more. I imagine the service departments are seeing a lot of work right now.
Well, and right now with the fuel prices going up like they kind of have recently, just like what happened in 2008 when it was
up $4 a gallon again.
When something very similar happened, you have one or two things: people who want to upgrade, or people who are trying to maintain what they currently have.
Sure.
And that's what we're seeing a big influx of, is just people who are just trying to maintain what it is that they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so our service department in that instinct is really some of the busiest they've been in a long time.
Sure.
Because we got lots of that. We got lots of people coming in, oil field people from out of town who are using our service department to do their regular scheduled maintenance, just because places like Hobbs and Carlsbad are just so busy.
They can't keep up.
Yeah, and we have fleet customers coming all the way from Midland, Odessa for service work. I mean, just because of how soon we can get people in, and opposed to some other places.
So that's a reputation thing. They probably know, we need a quick turnaround. We know, hey, I know the Richland guys in southeast New Mexico, they got it covered. So
yeah.
Let's get our stuff over there. So, yeah, okay. Well, again, that's reputation and volume. So, if you're looking for your vehicle and you trust the people that a lot of out-of-town folks and major companies around here trust to work on their vehicles, and that's you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And these people, what happen is because inventory is so scarce, they end up buying from outside of their local community, and that's where we're getting honestly quite a bit of stuff from people from out of state or just the surrounding communities where they can't find that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's in turn is helping us with our service work, because word of mouth is the best advertising.
Hey, where'd you
possibly
find
get.
that? Richland, the Richland boys had it. Yeah, exactly. So, and we're lucky. We got you guys right here in our backyard. So, if you're needing these kind of things, talk to Richland. Come on, bring your vehicle by, and what about the used inventory right now? Is it going off the lot as quick as it comes in? Obviously, you're still. Folks are looking to trade in vehicles. This is a good time of the year. They're still offering top values but as far as people looking to buy pre-owned, is there a stable of them on the lot right now, or are they going as quick like the new ones?
They are going pretty quick. And Brandon Johnson, he's our used car manager, and he's done a real good job in making sure that the type of inventory we have is the type of inventory that turns really fast.
Gotcha.
Because
the more popular things people are wanting.
Yeah, because it's something that all the data says that this is something that the consumer is looking for and looking for pretty quickly. And so he's done a really good job at both locations, making sure we have the right used car inventory. So that way, if what you're looking for in new isn't quite there, there's a good chance we have it there in used.
Gotcha. Let me ask, we here in Southeast New Mexico, the truck is king. People, most people want trucks or large SUVs. That's kind of the more popular things in this part of the country. But with gas prices in the world that we're living in now, are you seeing a little bit change in direction on what people are looking for? I mean, I'm sure you're always going to have high demand for trucks and things, but is there been a bigger market for some of the more fuel-efficient, smaller vehicles that the Richland, between Dodge and GM on those sides that they carry?
Well, we have that type of inventory, that small SUV stuff with good fuel economy. But what you're seeing is the stuff like the 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder trucks, half-ton trucks.
Okay.
That's become real popular.
Gotcha.
Good fuel economy and still being able to have a truck bed and a full-size truck.
They want the power and torque and all the ability to haul and pull, but they don't want to pay $300 to fill up their tank.
Exactly. And so that truck right there has become so much more value. The trucks with a 3-liter diesel engine, that stuff has become so much more valuable because people can get the fuel economy that they kind of hope for, but still get the utility that they need in a full-size truck. So those two trucks have been really some of our best sellers right now.
And that to me, that's great technology because that's the tech. I mean, look, I get, people want to do the electric and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's all well and good. And I understand we want a cleaner world and sure, all of those things. But until you can get the same results out of electric that you can with a gas engine, where you can have, and we're getting closer to that.
Yeah.
But, we're now seeing these pickups that now can get 400 miles to a charge that don't lose the torque or the towing. And, whether it's a hybrid model or more electric or whatever it is, the technology really is starting to be there now. I don't think we're quite there with electric yet where it's on its own, but we're getting to a point where they're catching up and you're thinking, you know what, maybe, because I think at the end of the day, most of us want a better planet and green and all that, but I don't think that's the main reason people switch. At the end of the day, it's people's pocket.
Yeah, it's their pocketbook.
Yeah, and when $4 and change gas right now is going on, that's going to expedite the engineers and stuff to probably figure out, hey, how do we make a Ram 1500 that has all the torque, all the power, gets 450 miles to the tank, and oh, by the way, it's electric. You know what I mean? Till we get there, we're closer. But until they can put those kind of numbers, I don't think it's going to sell like the big numbers that we think it will.
Well, and one of the things we got to realize, and we've noticed in the car business for years, is Roswell's a little bit behind when it comes to what's happening outside. So even though fuel prices have gone up, people don't necessarily panic as much in this area because we're rich in agriculture and all this stuff where that stuff is still making money while everything
it's a double-edged sword
for
our area a little
while
bit,
everything else is slow. And so yes, we're going to be able to help people with that are looking to downsize and stuff like that, but for the vast majority of what's happening in our community, people are still needing a truck, needing all this stuff, and just because gas is $4 a gallon doesn't necessarily change their mindset of what they have to accomplish
they
each
still
day.
they still got to get the haul to wherever it is,
exactly.
Or they still got to tend to the ranch or whatever, and that's the cost of doing business for them.
Exactly. It's exactly what you said. It's the cost of doing business.
Sure.
So.
But so where they make up on the other end is buying a vehicle that will last as long as they need it to. And obviously when we talk farm and ranch, and they probably beat up a truck a little bit harder than the average person that just drives up and down the street every day, And so they're going to be like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to pay more for that upgrade to the Ram here, but you know what? That money's going to make its money back on the back end, because now instead of in 4 years getting rid of this truck, I can now bring it 6 or 7 years because it's built that much better, And so they see that value and see it, and they'll go that way with it. It's where I'm spending more money, but the old saying, you get what you pay for, and that's true in every industry. It is, including the car industry. I mean, you can find deals and things, but let's face it, if you spend $10,000 on a car that's brand new versus, say, $60,000 on a car that's brand new, odds are pretty good that $60,000 car is going to be better built, last longer, better parts and things than that $10,000 car.
Exactly. Well, and that's what we try to explain to people is this is kind of investment. And so especially when it comes to new cars, people get so used to, just like what you said with yourself.
Yeah.
I bought used cars or lease for so long. I mean, now you can buy it and extend how long you have it. And,
sure.
And
well, they always say the old sayings like that you pay the sticker price and all that. But okay, that's an argument. But if you're also customizing it, you're paying for what you wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what you wanted. You didn't compromise on anything because you picked everything, and that's why. This is so much different and better that way. And because I imagine you even get, especially in the Jeep world, you could probably get more customization, like names put on things and, stuff like that. I've heard that kind of stuff they can customize too.
And with
like dashboards and stuff. And
on the Jeep side, they do these special editions that you can only get for so amount of time when you order them, which is cool. And so there's all these more trim levels than there's ever been on the Jeep Wranglers.
Yeah.
And, now they have 3 different engines, which is, for the longest time, it was just the 3.6 liter Pentastar, and now they have a diesel engine and a electric hybrid.
That's crazy. That's cool. So, I love that. And that's great. I'm a Jeep guy. You'll never.
Yeah.
That's my soft spot. But I love that, and I love that aspect. So, and I'll tell you this too. This is the thing. And this is my personal experience. I own a car through Richland, but dealt with Richland, and I'll say, and every time I go in there, your folks are always nice, very knowledgeable. It's always been a fun professional experience, and professional but still personal. If you know what I mean, like you can still go in there and just kick back and talk about the day and be humans. And then you get a great service and product and everything. I've never had a bad experience dealing with any of your staff or any of your folks. They're all great, knowledgeable people that work hard. And so I can attest to the customer experience.
Well, and that's what we kind of encourage out of them is we don't. When you say the word salesman, people automatically think the worst. But what we try to get these guys accustomed to is being people's car guys. I mean, if you have questions about your Jeep, you've always just asked, "Hey, what do you think about me getting this grill guard or this?"
Sure.
And that's something that a car guy can help you with.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a salesman, because a salesman, once you buy the car, may not necessarily be around after, okay?
Yeah.
But we're always around after. We encourage people after they buy the car, come back in and let's answer more questions that you have, because these things are so technical anyway. I mean, there's no way you can figure everything out in one visit. So we encourage people come back. My sales guys are actually scheduling the first follow-up visit a few weeks after that, so that way the customer can come back in and any questions they have that they can answer and show them how to use it again.
Yeah, absolutely too. And I also say this, and this is like an experience. I've had this both in the sales and the service department side, where they're also users of the product and champions of the product. So like when you're talking vehicles with the sales folks, that they're like, well, my vehicle, I can do that. They all own and ride these vehicles and know, so they kind of have their preferences too. And same on the service department side. Like I went and got a battery a couple weeks ago, and the guy's like, "Oh, this is the one I put in mine. This is the better one." And then he explained to me why he likes this one versus the other ones. And so to me that was valuable information and things. I'm like, well, these guys have it in their own vehicles and their own stuff, which they wouldn't put it in their stuff if they wouldn't believe in it. So to me, that's a selling point. I'm thinking these folks are willing to use it for their own lives and their own personal needs and are loving it. That's a testimony that you really can't express without it just being true. You know what I mean? It's so for them to not only tell me what they recommend, but do it because they too use the same product. That speaks a lot to me as a customer. So I do appreciate that kind of thing when they go in there like, oh yeah, this is the battery I have in my car, and it's great because of this, and this. And I'm like, thank you. Now it makes me feel better why I'm making this purchase.
What I'd like to see is the guys, all of them own product that we sell, like you said, but when we don't have what the customer's looking for and one of us drive what they're looking for. It's constantly just throw our personal keys. Hey, we'll go drive this. And,
give it a try.
You know what I'm saying? So that way you can get a better idea. There's so many times where I'm at the Chevy store and people come in and I'm like, hey, well, Joe, if you're thinking about a Jeep later, go drive this one and tell me what you think. And they're driving mine.
Yeah.
Or Brandon drives a TRX, and when people come in and they're talking about it, well, here, go check this out. So that way you can, and because we have this stuff, because we're advocates for everything that we sell, we're just constantly here. Well, here, try it.
Yeah.
I mean, because we have it. I mean,
well, and it probably makes your staff easier to do their job, because now they're speaking from experience, and rather, because let's face it, I'm sure there's a lot of tech data they got to study when they're reading. All right, let's look up the specs on a Ford, whatever, and they start going through all the stuff. But if you own it and you're using it, and it's not you going, well, I hear you can really do this. They're like, no, my favorite part. There's a passion behind their sale. There's a passion because they know the product that much more, and they know firsthand what it can do, as opposed to a knowledgeable person that's just read a bunch of books. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It's a huge difference, because then it's personal instead of just buying a car.
Yeah.
No one, I mean, when we talk to people and survey our customers, no one says that they like coming in and buying a car.
Right.
They don't like the hassle of the negotiation, but we change that process to be so much different. I've talked to you about it before. Our sales staff is separated into teams. So instead of one salesman constantly helping you when you buy a car, you have two other people asking and helping, making the process go faster, making the process go easier. And then you have three total people and more, because everyone helps each other, that are being able to tell you their personal experiences with what it is that they're trying to do. So.
Absolutely. And then like you said, you have the for the financial side, when it comes to making the numbers work, you have a team of people that help. Freddie being one of those big, he's for folks that don't know, I think you're I don't know if it's official or unofficial. They always know you as the numbers guy. Like Freddie's the guy that is really good at trying to, make the numbers work for people here. And so, and I know your staff goes above and beyond to, for people like saying, hey, I'm right here. Help me, make the numbers work. You guys can do that. Getting the right financing numbers, or reaching out to the right people to make sure you're happy on that side of things.
Well,
too.
And even if it's not the right time, last night we had a young couple come in that was in a couple months ago, and they had a few issues, but we explained to them what it is that they needed to do, and then to come back once they accomplished those few things.
Yeah.
And so the difference between them buying a car 2 months ago and the difference from them buying a car today was 10% in interest, $200 in payment, just because we were able to, yes, they wanted a car right then.
Sure.
But the smartest thing for them to do was to clean up a couple things, come back and see us.
Sure.
And then today or tomorrow, they're buying exactly what they wanted instead of settling.
Yeah.
And it's a way better purchase for them instead of buying that
And at
right
the end
at
of
that
the day,
moment.
their probably finances are in better shape now, because they, now that they can, rather than try to swing it, they actually set themselves up to actually afford it and thrive on it.
Yeah, and put themselves in a way better position.
Yeah.
And so, our goal is to sell a car every single day, but there's some instances where we're just helping you to be able to get to a point where it's a way better purchase experience. And then those are the customers that we have for life, because
they come back time and time again.
They choose to come back with us just because of the first experience that we gave them.
Yeah, and you guys realize, like, okay, we didn't upsell them on a car that they really couldn't afford. We got them in something that's right for them. And now, guess what? When this car has meet its needs and they're ready to get another one, they're going to come right back to us, instead of going, man, they ripped me off on that last car, I'm going to the other guy next time. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
And for us, that's when we know when we won. When someone comes up to us and says, hey, this is the reason I constantly come back, or this is the reason I'm going to come back to you because of what. And that's just what we hope to do every single time. Now, do we accomplish it every single time? No, but we do our best to try to do it.
Sure, absolutely. And you guys go above and beyond in every department, sales, service, whatever it is. You just, at the end of the day, want people to ride for the brand, be a champion for Richland, and And that's why Richland is also so much involved in community events and things. That's why you see, like when you go to, golf tournaments, things like that, or various charity events around town, you see a big Richland banner, as a sponsor of all of that. That's all part of this. That's all part of that community thing. So, it's being part of that fabric. So they're not just trying to sell everybody cars here and everything. The staff, everybody, they're part of this community. And so I know that's something that Richland since day one have always been involved in community stuff. So, and that's another thing too. When you're going to buy for Richland stuff, you're investing back in our community.
We just understand where we make our living from, and so we have to take care of that portion of it.
Yeah.
I mean, our community is what helped us get to the point where we're at today, and we constantly are just trying to make sure we're doing the right job to keep continually doing that.
Absolutely. So when you buy with confidence, knowing you're getting the best service, the best value for what you're looking for, and at the same time you're reinvesting in our community. So. That's a lot of stuff where you just coming and kicking the tires on a few vehicles over at Richland right now.
Yeah.
So, but come check it out. Is there any incentive specials right now? We want to. I know it's a world where they don't have to, so they don't necessarily right now. But I didn't know if there was anything out there for
right now. The big thing that we have going on is there's some 0% interest for 36 months on most of the half-ton truck inventory. So all that 1,500 inventory should be at 0% for 36 months. Rebates are light, but luckily we have a little bit of inventory sitting on the lot now, so that way you can come in and have a few different options, in opposed to only seeing 1 or 2 trucks there. Now we got about 10 for you to come in and look at.
Good deal.
They're going pretty fast, but luckily we have 1 or 2 truck coming in a week to help us constantly turn that
I'm
stuff.
curious right now, and we're running short on time, but we always tell people, look online, shop online and things, but the way supply and demand is right now, is it actually a little faster to visit the dealership in person, or are they getting up online as fast as they're coming in? I didn't know.
Yeah, you're welcome to get online, but some of this stuff is sold so fast
that it's probably more reliable to come down to the dealership.
Yeah, and for the first time, you've heard this a long time in the car business. Well, if you don't buy it today, it may not be here tomorrow. Well,
we're not lying this time.
This is the first time.
It's not a ploy. We're like legit. They're saying that.
This is where it's actually the truth. Now. I mean, because you can come in the morning and that vehicle may not be there at night,
right,
and it's you've always heard it from car dealers, but for the first time, there's a lot of truth behind it right now.
There's way more demand than supply right now, and so cars are going as quick as they're showing up here, and that's just the way of the world, and that's everywhere you go. So, but. Be on the, but if you're on the lookout too, that's another thing. Maybe you're thinking, maybe reach out to Richland guys. Say, look, I'm one. Maybe I don't want to customize one, but like you said, you get people all the time say, hey, if you got a half ton coming in, let me know when it comes in so I can come and take a look at it, kind of thing. I'm sure you got a list of people right now you're doing that kind of stuff.
We have a big list that everyone can see, showing all the stuff that's already accounted for.
Yeah.
So that way, and people are buying this stuff, making sure they're putting deposits, making sure that it's theirs when it comes in, because they don't want to miss it when it comes in. And then they're showing up the day it hits the lot, because they know how fast it'll sell if they don't get in there quick.
It's kind of like a Christmas-like atmosphere for those folks when those come in, I'm sure. It's like, ooh, the new car's here. Let's go get it.
Oh, exactly. Now it's every purchase is a real big experience, because there's anticipation now. It is just like Christmas. They've been waiting 2 or 3, 4 months for this car. So
salivating a little bit.
Yeah.
Good deal. So come on down to Richland. Like I said, if you're looking for your Dodge, GM, Chrysler products, visit the Richland store at the Y here, South Main and Southeast Main split there. And, of course, you're looking for General Motors products. And of course, if you're pre-owned, visit either one. But you can visit the Richland GM store here on West 2nd as you're heading out of town.
And we're still buying used inventory. So if there's something that you just feel you don't need, bring it down. Let's look at it. We may be able to purchase it from you right then and there.
Absolutely. And if you need any kind of service, anything from tires and batteries to more tune-ups and more heavier work, the service department at both Richland stores here in town got you covered.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Did we get it all ready?
Think so.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit, and thanks for. We had a runaround for a month there where we kept picking wrong dates.
Yeah.
I was getting everything else, but that was my fault.
No, don't worry at it. We're back at it, so I'll be back soon.
Good deal. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Appreciate you.
All right, 7:53. Let us pause for news and a quick break. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. 3 men sentenced in separate cases recently for being felons in possession of a firearm. 33-year-old Levi Mejia was charged in 2 cases. He was sentenced to a total of 6 years. 26-year-old Victor Richardson also sentenced to 6 years. And 21-year-old Pedro Cash Kirkman received a 2-year sentence. The sentences vary based on different factors that could be involved in each individual case. 5 companies working in the Permian Basin doing oil and gas work have been fined for failing to report methane emissions, which is required by state law. The fines for $55,000 each. All of the operators are based in Midland, Texas. A Congressional Oversight Committee said Thursday it's opening an investigation into a partisan audit of the 2020 election results that is taking place in New Mexico, and the audit authorized by a Republican-led county commission. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
If you ever experience a feeling that you're being watched, you're not being paranoid. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job for free and find qualified candidates quickly at linkedin.com/Kim. New research from the University of Maryland and Penn State University show that literally billions of smart devices are watching our every move. Most of these devices are hiding in plain sight. Your new big screen television, your car's GPS and its hidden black box, your phone, your tablet, your laptop, even your refrigerator is keeping a record of everything. The other day, a friend told me that he keeps smartphone apps like Find My Friends turned off. But surprise, everywhere you travel with your phone has a permanent record by your cellular provider. Protecting your privacy here in 2022 is just a losing proposition. The very things that spy on us and keep records of everything we do are gadgets that we paid for and brought them into our lives. And in many cases, we can't live without them. Get breaking tech news 24/7 at commando.com. Huge tech companies in America pay next to nothing in taxes, meaning they barely give anything back to the society that made them rich. They may not do a lot of giving, but they sure do a lot of taking, like collecting all your personal data. They grab your web history, email metadata, and video searches, then sell it all off to the highest bidder. To protect your identity and data, I recommend using ExpressVPN every time you go online. Everything you do and say online can be tracked by these corporations. Using your public IP address, they can uniquely match your activity and location. ExpressVPN camouflages your IP address and encrypts all your data so that it's protected from anyone that's trying to spy on you. Just fire up the app and click one button to get connected. That's it. Protect your data with the _1 rated VPN provider today. Visit expressvpn.com/Kim to get 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking at low 60s today with cool high pressure moving in from the Rockies. We'll have plenty of sunshine and a little bit gusty wind, occasionally up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight will be clear, low 30s, and then we warm into the mid 70s with plenty of sun coming up for Saturday. A few clouds Saturday night, sunny and up to 80 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Got a baseball score to pass along from yesterday. The Goddard Rockets took on Clovis at the Artesia tournament. That was the opening game of the day, and Goddard wins that one by a score of 12-9, a slugfest. The Rockets are now 2-5 overall, and will take on a team that likewise blasted somebody. It was Carlsbad knocking off Belen yesterday by a score of 18-0. So it's Goddard against Carlsbad today at 4 o'clock in the semifinal of the Artesia tournament. Meanwhile, the Artesia softball tournament is also starting today, and Goddard and Roswell are both in it. The Goddard Lady Rockets 3-2 will take on a 5-4 Silver team. That's today, and tonight Roswell makes its season opening debut by taking on host Artesia at 7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The House has voted to suspend normal trade relations with Russia and Belarus. preparing for President Biden to enact higher tariffs on more products and further weaken the Russian economy in response to its military assault on Ukraine. The U.S. has already taken steps to shut off the importation of Russian oil, liquefied natural gas, seafood, alcohol, and diamonds. The vote on Thursday sets the stage for making it more expensive to import certain steel, aluminum, and plywood items, among other goods. PayPal said Thursday that its users will now be able to send money to Ukrainians, both in the war-ravaged country as well as those now refugees across Europe. Previously, people in Ukraine were only able to use the payments platform to send money out of the country. They will now be able to receive funds as well as make transfers within Ukraine and abroad. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
This time of year, we all like to have fun talking about four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, and the luck of the Irish. But when it comes to finding a nice pre-owned vehicle you can really count on, you need more than just luck. You need a dealer like Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Great-looking late-model pickups, SUVs, sports cars, and family sedans. But more important than how they look is how they run, so Roswell Ford puts every one through a rigorous 139-point inspection. On top of that, Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee, so if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. That's a lot more than luck. That's true peace of mind. And if you really have a nice car or truck you'd like to sell, please bring it by. We'll look it over and make you an offer on the spot. So when you're ready to move up to a newer vehicle, don't take chances. Come see your friends at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, and leave your rabbit's foot at home.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
Russian forces continuing an all-out assault on Ukraine, hitting cities across the country, including Lviv in western Ukraine. The BBC's Jonah Fisher is there.
This is quite a big deal for Lviv because this is a place that is a safe haven, a place where people have been coming to escape the war in the rest of the country, a place where people have been coming as a sort of a staging point on their way out of the country towards the European Union. So this is the closest that the war has got to this city, right in the west of the country. So I think a lot of people will be evaluating what they do now, whether this is truly a safe place for them or whether they need to perhaps move on again.
The Russian attack on Lviv hit an aircraft repair facility near the airport, one person wounded. Secretary of State Blinken says there's no question the intentional targeting of Ukrainian civilians is a war crime.
Our focus is on ending this war. I don't want to speculate about the future, but there's going to have to be, one way or another, accountability for this war of aggression.
Blinken also fears that a desperate Vladimir Putin could turn to chemical weapons and then try to blame it on Ukraine. And the war is the focus of a phone call this morning between President Biden and his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, Chinese an ally of Putin. The New York Times finally admitting the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop, the salacious photos and emails, were genuine, not the product of Russian disinformation. And Hunter Biden is the target of a federal investigation into his foreign business dealings. Watching Wall Street this morning, stocks are mixed at the moment. Right now, the Dow is down 107 points, but the NASDAQ Composite Index trading 47 points higher. And the S&P currently off a fraction of a point. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We have a 12-year-old German Shepherd named Sophie, and she became overweight, stinky, greasy coat, and lifeless almost. Then about 4 years ago, we found out she had several vertebrae fused together. She was unable to walk. The vet told us Sophie was going to have to be euthanized. I thought, I've got to do something. DINOVITE.com. I remember Sophie starting the Dinovite, and she from day one has loved it. She is no longer stinky. She is full of life. Dinovite healed Sophie. Dinovite is nutrition. I truly recommend that people not wait until the vet recommends euthanasia. You have to get them on Dinovite right away while they're healthy.
Dinovite for life. You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
A Texas man charged with capital murder in the shooting of 2 dentists at a clinic.
40-year-old Stephen Alexander Smith is accused of shooting 2 people Wednesday afternoon at Affordable Dentures in Tyler, about 90 miles southeast of Dallas. The Smith County Sheriff's Office says Smith, quote, became angry at clinic staff and retrieved a handgun from his pickup truck and then returned to the lobby and opened fire. The Sheriff's Office said 2 doctors were struck by gunfire and both died. Authorities identified them as Dr. Blake Sinclair and Dr. Jack Burrows. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Samoa goes into a lockdown tomorrow, facing its first outbreak of COVID-19 after a woman who was about to leave the country tested positive. Although health authorities have so far found just a single case, it is the first time Samoa has found any unexplained cases in the community and likely points to an undetected outbreak that has been going on for days or perhaps even for weeks. News and analysis at townhall.com. Public health officials cheering this trend.
The first year of the pandemic saw fewer Americans smoking. U.S. cigarette smoking dropped to a new all-time low in 2020, with 1 in 8 adults saying they were current smokers. That's according to survey data released Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Adult e-cigarette use also dropped. Outside experts say tobacco company price hikes and pandemic lifestyle changes likely played roles. It's the latest drop in a gradual decline that's been going on for more than half a century. In 1965, 42% of U.S. adults were smokers. Keith Peters reporting.
Investigation of this week's fiery head-on crash in West Texas now focuses on the revelation that a 13-year-old was driving the pickup truck and struck a van, killing 9 people, including 6 members of a college golf team and their coach. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
That'd be the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters. Yeah, it takes a certain...
There's a finesse to it, yeah.
It's a flick of the wrist.
There you go. Look at the flick of the wrist. You got it.
Bill's on bell today.
That's right. I got a fever. The only prescription is more bell.
Yeah, you're a Christopher Walken.
You get a half shirt.
Hey, can you do the whole report today as Christopher Walken?
Oh, I doubt
it. We had a meeting yesterday.
No, it was, I carried this watch.
Everyone was there.
4 years.
Yes. So happy Friday. Happy McDonald's Friday.
Yes.
It is McDonald's Friday, as it is every Friday here in the Roswell Talk FM Studios. They provide us with delicious breakfast findings each and every Friday, and they do not disappoint every time. So big thank you to them. Swing on by any of your McDonald's, including the brand new South Main McDonald's. Download the app.
Yes.
Get in the club where you can use that to get exclusive deals, rewards. We're the Point app where you save up, and next thing you know, you're getting free Big Macs and what have you.
Yeah.
Because you, as a loyal customer.
Oh, by the way, since we are in the Lenten season, filet of fish 2 for $6.
I had me last week we were talking. I had me double filet of fish.
You talked yourself into a double filet of fish.
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I get it, dude. I totally get that.
And I'm still right about my double fillet is the better of the two.
I feel like if you could have 2 fillets, why not have 2 buns along with it? That's just my opinion.
I'm just a pro meat guy. Like I'm team meat.
But there's nothing better than that steamed bun, that fillet of fish bun. It really makes the whole sandwich.
It's delicious and it's great, but it ain't called fillet of bun sandwich. Just saying.
I just feel that I can get fuller off of 2 full fillets of fish than 1 double fillet.
Or 2 double fillets.
I guess I could just take 1 and stack it on and make like a filet-o Big Mac.
Yeah, you could. You could.
Big filet mac?
Yeah. Yeah, you create your own hack.
There you go.
Like I could think of, that filet of fish with some bacon, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I don't know about that.
Green chili is good.
Green chili?
Green chili on a filet. I never thought about that.
Así es Nuevo Mexico. What can I say?
See.
I would be wondering if you made a green chili tartar sauce and put on there.
Ooh, that is the one
that
place.
Would be really good.
The one thing I will say about the filet is if you're going to get one, get it with extra sauce, extra tartar sauce. Every time I do it that way.
I usually don't have I don't have a problem. Usually they put plenty on there for me because
it's not enough for me.
Is it?
I like a good saucy sandwich.
Okay. Maybe when I get the double, they put more on.
You knew I was a saucy fella.
But yeah, you know what? More talking. I'm like, I think I might get me.
Dude, I'm talking myself into a fillet of fish right about now.
I could kind of go for another one of those.
Doesn't sound too shabby.
It's my favorite of the fishes.
Matter of fact,
because two meats is a perfect combination of the steamed bun to cheese to tartar sauce ratio.
I've got enough points in my app right now for a free fillet of fish.
There you go.
Boom, done.
And there you go.
Lunch is solved.
Pair it with a shamrock shake.
Ooh, that might be a tough sell. I mean, we're already pushing some boundaries with the fillet. I don't know about fish and ice cream.
Never know.
So what? Just put it in my gut and let my stomach, battle it out.
Be the judge.
Bear in mind, not 24 hours ago, I was dealing with insane intestinal distress. I don't know if I want to go back to that.
In this world, there's
plateau.
Always room for ice cream.
Sure, maybe.
Ice cream goes with everything.
I feel like there should be a window of time in between the two, though.
Mm-hmm. People are like, do you like to breathe? Yeah. Do you like ice cream? Of course. When do you not want ice cream? Never. I mean, come on. It would be great.
Is the sky blue? I understand where you're coming from. Poke Catholic, yeah, it makes sense.
I'm just thinking you go and eat your fillet of fish sandwich or double, and if I recommend.
Sure.
And then when
Put
you're
a gap
done, you're
of
like
time.
a couple sips of that shamrock shake. You're like, oh yeah, that's a
I
winner.
just feel like you need to put a little gap of time in between the two.
Pair it with some fries. Get it a meal. That way you got the salty. You know those people that dip their fries. I don't understand those people.
Now
But
that's different though. I'm a French fry in my ice cream kind of person.
Not me. That's one that never works for me. It ruins the fries.
But a fillet of fish with a shamrock shake you're good with.
Not at this.
It is weird where you draw your lines, man.
But I'm not dipping the fish sandwich in the shake.
You ever tried it? No, I wouldn't recommend it.
No, because that's savage.
That is, yeah, that's rough.
You're a cretin when you do that.
I'm talking myself back out of that fillet of fish right about now, actually.
But visit and do your thing. You do you. We, you don't. If we're talking some nastiness to you, then do you.
That's right.
Maybe go get you a 20-piece chicken nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're a beef person, get you a quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Or a double quarter pounder.
Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset them.
Yeah. It upsets Sean big time.
I don't like it.
He gets really mad. Really, really mad. But thank you to McDonald's. Stop on by. Visit the new South Main if you haven't been in there. Come and talk to the computers and see all the cool stuff they got going on at the technology.
It's neat.
Like, this is the same company that puts all kinds of scientists on their perfect ice.
Yeah.
Ice. And I mean, these people are studying what shape to make the straw. Okay. That's what I'm saying. They put the science into all this stuff. So
they've got a
go check it out.
machine at that McDonald's that like makes the drinks for them. Like
the
dispenses out of like a conveyor belt thing. So it's the machine has learned how to dispense the perfect beverage.
Yeah, it's all down to science with that stuff. So that's why you get the same perfect tasting drinks every time.
That's right.
It's Science.
It's science.
So, big thank you to McDonald's. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. And then after a quick break, Bill Williams, you heard him talking with us here. That's not my Bill Williams impression. That's actually Bill. Bill's here with us, and we're going to preview or review yesterday's county commission meeting here and talk with him about that. And imagine... They're probably getting ready to talk budget stuff now that we're getting into the spring.
We are ready to start budget.
Yeah, imagine this is the time of year where the departments start putting together their needs and getting them presenting to the commission and that kind of stuff.
Right, and outside requests are starting to come in.
Okay, so we'll probably talk a lot about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's upcoming. Whether we have it today or not, it might be a little early, but it's upcoming.
I know the spring's about time they start thinking about this stuff because by, the fiscal year ends the end of June here, and they've got to have that new budget to Santa Fe and all that before that's in place. So, so we'll talk county commission here in just a little bit. Later on, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, along with your quick break, Wall Street business update, and whatever else, too, we can come up with. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a look at your weather. Not as windy as yesterday, but... Sunday we might get some. We got rain coming too. I like good chances. So I'll just shut up. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking at low 60s today with cool high pressure moving in from the Rockies. We'll have plenty of sunshine and a little bit gusty wind, occasionally up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight will be clear, low 30s, and then we warm into the mid 70s with plenty of sun coming up for Saturday. A few clouds Saturday night, sunny and up to 80 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. I was going to give you current temps, but I'm wondering if they're having some issues because this morning when I checked in, they weren't giving me current temps at the National Weather Service. And then last hour when I started doing it, it was there. And now I'm refreshing and it's not there again. So I apologize. I don't have the current temps. I'm wondering if they're having some issues with the equipment out at the airport that sends that information to them. But anyway, it's got big fat NAs next to it right at the moment here. So no non-applicables. It is applicable. They just don't have it. But I can tell you we're going to be mostly sunny today with a high of 63. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 32. South winds 5 to 15. Saturday, it's a downright beautiful day tomorrow. Sunny skies, 74, mid-70s. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Beautiful day. Saturday night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 38. South winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday, it's going to be warm, sunny and 82, but the winds are coming with it. Breezy, south winds 5 to 15 early. Later in the day, increasing 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. And with that wind is bringing some rain chances. Sunday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers after midnight, partly cloudy and breezy with an overnight low of 44. But then Monday, we're looking at a 60% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, highs in the mid-60s, and then a 50% chance of rain Monday night as well, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 30. We're even looking at a slight chance early Tuesday morning of some rain as well, highs only in the upper 50s, partly cloudy, 57 there. So that's pretty decent chances for southeast New Mexico, 50, 60. That's higher than most times we get. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some moisture here at the end of the weekend or start of your work week there. All right, 8:16. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then Bill Williams will join us here on the other side. We'll talk Chaves County business. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
The March Mania Slam Dunk Savings Event is on at Roswell Honda. Saturday, March 19th from 10 to 1, the hoop will be set up at Roswell Honda. Shoot for up to $1,000 discount. Enjoy free food and drinks, fun for the whole family, and register to win a 54-inch Spalding portable basketball hoop. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test driver service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 19th at 1, must be present to win. Score big during the Slam Dunk Savings Event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. During your lifetime, you'll produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Spit out this bit of information at your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
Spit away. Good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Chavez County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. I really love those little tidbits of, you're a veritable cesspool of useless information, but those are great. I love them.
Hey, I'm hoping people, make friends talking over those.
Talking over, spitting their pool full.
That's right. Because if you can share that information with that's a friendship that'll last a long time. Oh, man. Well, in case folks aren't aware, the Chavez County Commission did meet yesterday, as they do. I know normally they...
it's the third Thursday of the month normally, but we've had quite a few that are going to have to change this spring. So
meetings and what have you,
right.
and different events.
Next month, we're going to be a week early, so the April meeting will be the second Thursday. And then May, June, and July will all be a week later. So I guess the fourth Thursday of the month. And then we hope we're back on track for the rest of the year. But it varies some. And then we have a special commission meeting on Monday, kind of a joint meeting with commissioners and managers from Otero, Eddy, Lincoln, and Chavez.
Okay.
And we're all kind of in I don't want to say a battle, but the Lincoln National Forest, the Forest Service, chose to plan for their next 10 to 15 years of operations, and they didn't include the local governments, which they're required by law to do. And so we found out literally towards the end of the process.
So now you're going to have to go and legal up here a little bit?
We've asked them, how can you do an environmental impact statement if you didn't take into account what Chavez County has in their land use plan, for one? And your law or your rules require that you coordinate with local governments, and there was no coordination with any of us. If the ranchers hadn't come to us and said they're getting ready to turn our cattle leases into wilderness areas that no one can really utilize, can't cut down the trees or the undergrowth or anything else, it can create more forest fires. All those kind of things they told us about.
But they're good stewards of the land,
And they, so we're having a meeting. We've kind of grouped up, and all of us have passed resolutions opposing their plan, and we're working towards getting some resolution and some inclusion in the planning process. We understand they have to manage their forest and all that. That's fine, but
We should be at the table,
We should be at the table, and there are certain criteria before you develop wilderness areas and stuff. And if they didn't meet the level of wilderness from 1978 when they inventoried all of these, what made them more pristine in the last 50 years? Was it the water line that went through to feed and water the cows? Was it the stock tank? Was it the community water supply? One of their areas that they wanted to do a wilderness wilderness characteristic thing, another agency, literally had overhead power lines, satellite dishes, a gas line that ran through there. It's like, how is this wilderness?
Yeah, right.
And there was a road.
Looks pretty developed to me.
A county road right there, a paved county road. And we asked someone from the Department of Interior on that particular one, says, how can you count this as wilderness area? He turned around and faced the other side of the road and says, we just looked this direction. And it's like, yes, but you're including,
right, this part that's not wilderness.
6,000 acres on the other side of the road. How can you do that when, and that's why we try to get involved and try to look
the
out
ostrich play.
And currently in Chaves County, and the other counties are higher amounts. I don't know about Eddy County. I'm not sure what their percentage of non-private lands there are. But in Chaves County, 60% of Chaves County is either state or federally owned lands.
Wow.
So only 40% of it's
ours
to use and to benefit from. And of course, there are, like I say, grazing permits and things of that nature on state and federal lands. But when you do things like create wilderness, that's gone.
That's all useless land to everybody.
There's no food, fiber, or minerals extraction, anything like that coming off of these lands once they turn them into wilderness areas.
Yeah.
And so, we really like to take a good hard look at that, and we'll be doing that on Monday.
Well, and I would argue, too, that the definition of wilderness and things like that, these are pretty rural. It's like I don't... Like, I get they're trying to say they don't want to put a shopping mall here. I get that. But, come on. Do you really think they're ever going to put a shopping mall in anywhere of these places we're talking about? These are very desolate, remote, that are really only good for farming and ranching.
Well,
type stuff.
multiple uses is really the best use of most of the land. The reason there's so much federal land out west is that they had the Homestead Act. They couldn't get people to settle out west, and so they... offered people 160 acres if you could stay there for 5 years. Well, some of the most desolate land in the West, Nevada, the state is something like 90% federal lands or something. I mean, it's a huge number.
Sure.
It's because people couldn't make a living there. They couldn't eke out. You can't farm in the middle of the
land
Nevada
ain't good
desert.
for anything, yeah.
And so that's where a lot of the BLM land has come from. People either didn't even try to farm it or it went back to them, and they ended up having this huge excess.
So
land.
a lot of it's just unclaimed parcels.
Unclaimed lands and lands that are very difficult to make a living on. And so turning them into wilderness areas doesn't help. Let's let people utilize them for the good of our communities. And also, we don't get taxes on those. We get a payment in lieu of taxes, which they decide what that amount is. It's a lesser amount than what it would be taxed at if it were private. And that's just not right.
Yeah.
So we really pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Not to mention, like you said earlier, when they turned it into these wilderness things, they basically get man's hand out of it, which I understand that, but when you got humans living nearby, and then when the lightning strikes and causes there's stewardship of these wilderness areas, and we like that owl back when they were talking about the reason that owl started hanging out at Walmart's because they made the natural wilderness areas, and they got so thick they couldn't hunt in the grounds anymore and stuff because they weren't so. In actuality, it's probably better that we do have a human influence in there just a little bit, at least to keep the wildfires from going crazy and clearing and unnecessary growth
in forest areas, definitely. Yeah. And the thing is, to be considered a wilderness area, I believe in all the federal agencies, it has to have a minimum of 5,000 acres. And you can't take any motorized vehicles in there. Some of them have perimeter roads so they can drive around the outside, but you cannot go on the interior with fire or ATVs or anything else. Now, you can ride your horse in there in a lot of places, but they've gotten to where some of these large tracts, 50,000 acres or whatever, that they're starting to not allow, like the outfitters, they'll load up their mules and their horses and take hunters in there well into the interior to do their hunting, which is great.
Yeah.
but they have to graze those horses. Well, now they've started revoking grazing permits from outfitters in some of these large places and saying, sorry, you can't. Well, how are we going to
feed them?
Well, you have to haul it in. Well, if we pack the hay in, we can't pack in our other supplies. And you know,
and I got to bring in more horses to bring more food.
It's not a perpetual motion machine. You know, they can't carry enough to feed themselves and get back out. So, you know, it's just kind of crazy. But that's kind of some of the things that we feel the government is doing, overreach, that, you know, locks up these lands where they can't be used by the hunters efficiently.
Sure.
You know, you can go to the edge, but, you know, what happens when you start hunting the deer or whatever?
Sure, the animals go where they can.
They go to where they can hide.
Why do you think when you go to Ruidoso and you go up in the mountains and you see all these deer hanging out in people's neighborhoods? Because they know they're safe there. You can't go hunting through those neighborhoods.
We've got to find the right balance. And that's why Chaves County has a land use plan, so that we can find that balance. So there are plenty of places for people to hunt. There are places to graze cattle. There are opportunities for oil and gas extraction or other minerals that come off of lands. And a lot of the other counties around don't actually have a plan in place. And so when the government does come in and say, we're planning on doing X, Y, or Z, they don't have a plan that says, oh, wait a minute, we've evaluated this. And so within our community, and we feel this is not a compatible use.
So they're
and
not standing up to that.
So Chaves County Commission several years ago did that, and you know they're well ahead of the game, and that's the way you have to do it. We were successful with 3 counties in the U.S., I believe, about 8 or 10 years ago, stopping a BLM initiative called BLM 2.0. It was Chaves County, New Mexico, Garfield, Colorado, and I'm not sure, maybe Lawrence or Logan, South Dakota County. I don't recall which 3 were involved in that suit, but
we were one of them.
But we were one of the 3 that stopped them from overreaching, and they had to retract what they were doing and went back to kind of the way they had been managing things. So you know, there's a lot of planning and oversight that are on the local county level that our county commissioners do. They have a lot more issues they have to deal with than people realize in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's really fending off the wolves literally in some of these cases here.
But anyway, that meeting's on Monday at 2 o'clock.
So they're going to basically uniting the front there and getting ready for battle.
And the Forest Service is going to come and try to answer some questions for us. How'd you get to where you're at? How do we move forward together?
So do you think at the end of the day that they'll make a decision one way or another at that meeting, whether they're going to reassess and let you in, or you will have an answer at that point?
I don't think that they have the authority to answer. I think that they're going to have to kick it up the chain, and they're going to say, yeah, they caught us. We didn't follow the rules.
Gotcha.
And I think they're going to have to go back and redo a portion of these things first.
Okay.
And get buy-in. At the very least, I think they have to redo the environmental impact statement, because they didn't take into account any of the local issues, and that's what an environmental impact statement is supposed to do.
Sure. But somebody got a report filled out in D.C. on time, so made it.
They did.
They kept their job.
They tried to push those things through. So, real quick before we go on with the agenda, I wanted to bring up. I'm going to start trying to report to you what's going on the courthouse lawn.
Okay.
And I didn't check the calendar real close, but I know that we have the Cinco de Mayo celebration starting on the 6 de Mayo. So the 6th, 7th, and 8th of May will be the Cinco de Mayo celebration at the courthouse lawn.
Very cool.
And, of course, they'll have 4th and 5th Street blocked off. Now, in conjunction with that, it's a separate event, but going on at the same time, so there's plenty for people to do. The Pecos Valley Vintage Car Club is going to be having their annual car show.
Okay.
Which this is their 46th annual car show.
Cool.
And they have it on Mother's Day, because why would, on the Mother's Day weekend? Because what better surprise for mom than to take dad to a car show?
That's right. Get them out of your hair, maybe? Yeah, maybe that's the logic. I don't know.
It's their 46th one, and they will actually be in the parking lot behind the courthouse.
Okay.
So on Virginia Street.
So all the parking that normally most people use the courthouse, that's
on
the
weekends, that's not used, and that's a perfect place. They have
it's
done
pretty
it
big there, so they can put a lot of cars.
Yeah, they can put a lot of cars there, and there's plenty of access. It's not a really busy street, so people will be able to cross if they need to.
Sure.
There's other parking up and down the street they can get to.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're going to have to come in off of Virginia Street, off 2nd, or come down 3rd Street or 6th Street, because 4th and 5th will be closed. But the people that are coming to see the Cinco de Mayo celebration and do those events, they'll have that. Plus, they can walk, right around the courthouse, and there's a big car show.
Yeah.
It's a good-sized car show, too. So they'll be able to do that. The people that go to the car shows, hey, as long as we're parked, let's go check out what's going on at Cinco de Mayo. So it's a pretty good,
little family weekend hangout.
Yeah, kind of a good thing. So anyway, I know that's coming up, and I'm going to try to start letting people know what's happening at the courthouse lawn because we have a lot of really good events. We have Main Street Roswell does many things at the courthouse lawn.
First Fridays, of course,
First Fridays on Main Street. Plus, they also have the farmers markets every year.
They'll be gearing that up here.
That'll be coming soon.
Usually around May time frame, I think.
Coming to a courthouse near you. But anyway, so we're going to try to start reporting on kind of that kind of stuff
Some
that's
of the
going
things
on. So people
applications you're getting for use of that lawn there. So very cool. Good deal. So, yes, the county commission meeting did meet yesterday. What was it, a pretty busy agenda or fairly light, somewhere in between?
Well, it was busier for Mac than me. Last month, it seemed like I did 90% of the stuff. They were so sick and tired of hearing me. This month, I had a very light part. But Mac, because he was working with the road hearing stuff, he took the freeholders out to look at the roads. As I say, we get
the
three.
Annual tour of the county?
Yeah. Well, this year there were only 7 roads, and they're all real close into town.
So you didn't have to venture too far out.
They stretched it, I think, and made a half a day out of it. But we want to thank the freeholders. Let me think of who they were. Well, I can't remember right off the top of my head which three. I can remember 2, and I'm trying to remember which one third. Maybe I'll come back to that. But
sure.
Anyway, we get 3 people from the community that are not in any way associated with the roads, and try to get.
They don't have a dog in that fight, basically.
Right? And try to get a variety of people. So there's people who hunt, there are people who do agriculture, there are people who live in town, so that we kind of get a full opinion of.
They don't have a dog in the fight, but understand the needs of those roads.
Right.
Gotcha.
And a good diverse cross section of the community. There's just 3 of them, and all they do is they go out and look at the roads the same way the commissioners do. Look at our road policy and say yes, it meets the criteria, or we would recommend the county taking this road on if they bring it up to the county standard, those kind of things. And that's what they did this week. So
were they looking at more roads that they want to turn into county roads, or ones they want to abandon as county roads, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both, and there were no status changes. There's also a third category where it's a non-county maintained road. The county already has the right-of-way, but people would like it to become a county maintained road.
Gotcha.
And actually, we do have some of those. We have 4, I believe, of those out near Buena Vida.
Okay.
Started to say Buena Suerte because that's where I live. But anyway, out near Buena Vida, there's some non-county maintained roads that when they developed that subdivision, they dedicated the roads to the use and the benefit of the public, and the commissioners accepted them.
Okay.
And so those are our right-of-ways. But they've had enough growth and new houses and stuff, then they want to bring the roads up to our standards. I mean, it's their responsibility to bring the gravel in, do the ditches, make sure everything's right.
But once it's done, then
then the county will take it over.
Okay, very good. And that's always been the rule, by the way.
Right.
If you want the county to adopt a road, then you got to bring it up to code, and then once that's done, then they'll take it on. They're not going to build it up to that point. That's on you.
Yeah, that's entirely on you. So anyway, they have some roads, and every year they have. Well, I don't know about every year, but often they have 1 or 2 roads because, like I say, they're developing out there, and they want to make sure that the people that buy have every ability to get in.
Sometimes and things, and so there's a need for this.
So there's that. There were 3 roads that only benefit certain people and not really the community, and so landowners on either side have the authorization or the ability to apply for that road to be vacated or closed. And there's 2 of them up north of town, a subdivision that the roads go right through where the houses are and stuff. It's kind of a weird thing. There are main roads to get in there, but then those secondary roads were never really developed, but they're on the map, and they're saying, look, we want to build our house. We own all the lots across here, and the road goes right through the middle of where we want to put the house. So we're asking if we can vacate, and it doesn't affect any of the other neighborhoods.
Sure.
So that's the kind of thing.
Perfect reason to do it then. Yeah.
And another thing that Mac did kind of at the same time, and I used to do this every year, once a year we have to turn in our certified road mileage to the state of New Mexico for funding purposes.
Okay.
So Chaves County has 1,387.83 miles this year.
All right.
It's down about a mile from last year because we lost a couple of roads. We also gained a couple of roads in the road hearing process last year. So,
but it all balanced out in about a mile or 2 less than last year.
Yeah, about a mile less is what Max says. So he has to present that report. The commission has to approve it, and then we have to get it to Santa Fe by April the 30th.
Okay.
And then they will send out some of their crews to verify some of these things, kind of spot checks. Is okay, you said that you had whatever road goes from here to here, and we're out here now looking, and does it in there or does it in there? We've had them call us because they're not, there's roads out everywhere. It's a big county, 6,000 square mile county. So there's roads everywhere, and they do a little spot check and make sure that works. So
very good.
We also turned in the retirement paperwork for the volunteer firemen. As they work each year, they document that they've worked, and they get a small stipend if they should retire from the fire department after so many years. So
Thank them up
that's a
for
good
service
thing.
and things.
But every year we have to go through and make sure that we have all of that in place.
Gotcha. So the numbers are accurate when they do retire. Gotcha.
So anyway, we started out, though, with a special use permit for a second residence on a piece of property. As you know, there's requirements that you can only have one home except for special circumstances. And this particular family felt the need to take care of the mother. And the mother was there and said, I really would like them to help take care of me. So it was already heard at the Planning and Zoning Committee. They agreed that this should move forward, that these people had a real need. And there's stipulations and findings of fact. We found out it's here, and they're going to put in a second septic tank. Those conditions have to all be met. And if they don't, then, they revoke that special use permit.
Sure.
But anyway, the Planning and Zoning Committee said, that's great. They sent it back forward, and the commissioners listened to the same story and says, we see the need for this. So,
gotcha. Okay.
So, there are ways. If there's something that's contrary to the zoning, just go through the process, and usually there's a workaround.
Gotcha.
If it's a legitimate need, there can be a workaround, but at the same time, they have to make sure that people aren't just, hauling cars out and demolishing them and bringing in travel trailers and that are not hooked up to septic systems and dumping sewage on the ground, and there's a lot of that.
It's in place so people don't abuse and in essence do things that could be harmful to others in the areas.
Right, and we actually had a group of people came out yesterday, waited patiently till the end of the meeting so they could talk on unscheduled communications and let us know about a situation in their neighborhood where there are people burning stuff out in the middle of the night. Smoke seems to always be hanging. I guess they're burning off wire. I don't know for sure what they're doing, but fire department shows up at 2:00 in the morning to put out their blazes. There seems to be no septic systems hooked to travel trailers that they're living in. Cars are being brought out there and demolished, and so they came and asked for some help to try to take care of that. So the sheriff, the commissioners, the planning and zoning people, everybody's on the same page that we need to protect property rights when people are doing illegal things.
Yeah, we're
door
all about freedom and live and let live.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're abusing that and impacting other people's lives, then we need to step in.
No, there are definitely situations and places where people have cars and things that are done appropriately, and that's fine. It's when people are doing things like, say, burning stuff in the middle of the night. It's always smoky, firemen coming. There's a lot of disturbance there, and that's what we need to try.
And if you know
to
it's shady, they're doing it at night because they know it's shady, and they think no one will see it. It's like so report that stuff if you see it too.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll. We're limited in a lot of ways. We don't have as much teeth as we'd like in some situations, but in many there are ways to take care of the issue.
Yeah, it's just being good stewards and being good neighbors, and that's all you guys are just asking and enforcing that basically.
So we did a deletion of property and proposed disposition. We just finished our asset management. Every year we have to do an inventory of everything that belongs to the county, and it's very elaborate, very time-consuming. Every department has to really dig and find stuff.
A lot of minutia. Huh?
If you don't find it, you have to do a lot of paperwork to show that it disappeared or you sold it or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, it wasn't procured or something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's a long process that usually starts right after the year turns over, the new calendar year.
Okay.
And once that's done, then the finance department will ask for deletion of property records, things that people say, we don't need this anymore, so here's the sheet for it, or this was lost, or that kind of thing, or we're going to transfer to another department. So those things, they take it before the commission. The commission looks over the list and says, okay, this is fine. But if they see something like a vehicle missing, something huge, they're going to get
That's
the
going to be a red
answers.
flag raised.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
hey.
these are usually small things, small tools or something that get misplaced, or
Or
we've had
break
things
and never
we've
got
had things
reported.
taken out of the back of the pickup,
Yeah.
and so when that happens, we have to adjust our.
You probably have a good idea when something's just either a maintenance, something broke or something wasn't done, versus someone's trying to steal government property.
Well, and a lot of times, tools and stuff break, and the guys don't really think about it, but that's on property. Every tool that we buy is on the property list because you don't want people stealing tools.
Right.
If it's a consumable item, welding rods, that kind of thing, you don't put a property tag on those,
Sure.
obviously, because they're gone when you finish the welding job. But if it's the welder, welder's probably a bad example, but if it's some sort of a tool that you use and it breaks, a lot of times the guys don't think about, this is a $50 saw, and it's broken, so I throw it in the trash
Dump
can.
it.
Well, then come along inventory time, we realize that saw's missing, and they say, where's that saw? Who saw it last? Oh, I threw that away last spring when it broke. Well, we can write up the paperwork and see, but we, like you say, there's nothing large there. It's just a check where we make sure that the county's doing what they need to do and that our employees are doing what they need to do. There's lots of checks and balances.
But if we went to the road department and said, why is there 3 pickup trucks missing? Then they were like, all right, now this is
there's an issue. Yeah. So we had 2 appointments yesterday. One of them was done by the clerk's office, and that was the appointment to the County Board of Registration.
Okay.
So and I'm not sure how many members they have on that board, but they appoint people every so often to meet certain criteria to help them oversee elections and the registration of people, voting and exactly what they do. Next time you have Cindy Fuller in, I know she can tell you
She'll be happy
everything
to
about it. But they actually put forth a name, and the commissioners approved that.
Okay.
I put forth one for the assessor's office, appointment to the County Valuation Protest Board. So every year when you get your tax bill, there's a window, if you disagree with your tax bill, that you can protest it, and they'll set up an appointment, talk to you about how your taxes were developed and how they came to that number.
Okay.
If you disagree, then you can go before the County Valuation Protest Board. Again, kind of like the freeholders, they're individuals from outside in the county that don't have a dog in the fight,
right?
That are there to look at it with a fresh set of eyes and say, this is right, this is wrong. I see what the county did, or whether that's right or wrong. I see what the county did. Boy, you need to straighten that up. I agree with this person. Or I see what the county did. What you're taxed on is this, and whether you see it or not, but it's another fresh set of eyes to make sure that we're honestly and fair.
Independent. They just want to get it right. They're not siding, with the government's right, or they just want to know what the law says and was it applied correctly.
So we appointed 2 members to that board, and also by the statute it requires that we have 2 alternates in case they're not available. So there are 4 people who were approved for that, and the commissioners approved that.
Very good.
5-0. So
how busy are those? Is it pretty common that they're, or is it?
They usually, I'm guessing they have 4 or 5 protests a year.
Okay.
Usually,
so it's nothing major.
Usually when people call in with a protest, they end up talking to the assessor, and she can visit with them, get the proper information from her staff, and find out exactly how they came to that. And once it's explained, people understand, okay, I see how you got it.
Sure.
And so most of them go away. But there are 2, 3, 5, every year that don't get the resolution they want, so they would like someone else to hear it.
Sure.
And it's a fair method, and sometimes it works in the person's favor, and sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
Because they are looking at it,
Just the facts, ma'am.
Yep. So that's a good system and a good setup. So
good deal.
Happy that they did that. Let's see what else we got. We did some RFPs. We approved 2 RFPs yesterday. One for a design professional or an architect to help us design the new space for the Pecos Valley Regional Communication Center.
Okay.
We are well along the process of putting bathrooms in what's known as Area D at the county. That's where they have the early voting. Generally, this time at the municipal election, they moved it to another location because construction was going on. But that part of the county building doesn't have any bathrooms. It's totally separate from the rest of the building. They built it as an ad alternate when they built the county building, so that when they remodeled the courthouse, the judges could put their chambers in there.
Okay.
But there were no bathrooms. when the judges were there, they had portable bathrooms outside people could use. The judges used another building we owned adjacent to the county building for their offices, but they just did court in there. So after the courthouse was remodeled, the judges moved back to the courthouse. That has been a large area with no bathrooms, can't really utilize it for anything. And so we've started working on this about 6 years ago, getting a design taken care of, coming up with the funding, and we've added bathrooms. We're going to change the entrance so you no longer have to run around the end of the building and come through the two doors on the side. There's going to be an actual entrance adjacent to the parking lot.
Okay.
You'll come in, there'll be 2 new large bathrooms, and then that area can be used for voting like it has been, or we can find other uses for it.
Gotcha.
But down there in that same area, we're going to put in a new dispatch. Dispatch was put in at the Chaves County building right after they built it, and it's a fairly small area. Well, our needs have grown almost exponentially.
They've outgrown their home right now.
So, and they do a great job in the area they have. It's jam-packed with all the latest and greatest communications equipment, so they can make sure that first responders get out and do what they need to do. So anyway, and that means the city and the county, we work together with Pecos Valley Regional Dispatch, and we are working together to develop a new space for them. So we hired the architect, or the commissioner said, yes, you can accept their proposal to design this new area. Now we'll put together a team which will include people from the dispatchers, because they're the ones obviously that know what they need. We'll have some of our staff on there because we know what the law is as far as purchasing and making sure we do it right, and overseeing the project. We have to have our people in on that, but we definitely want to make sure that the design is the best that we can afford to do, because it may have to last them another 20 years. So we want to make sure that that's a good thing. We'll have a representative from the city on that, because it is a community-wide project, the Pecos Valley Regional Communication. So we want to make sure that they're in the loop, we're in the loop, our building department's in the loop, the procurement department, and of course dispatch is in the loop to make sure that gets done.
Sure. There's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah, and same thing on, we got a design professional services for a public health office, and I'm real proud of that, because we talked about this previously on the radio, all this CARES Act money and stuff. 50 years from now, if someone remembers, they say, yeah, I remember once my dad got $1,200 from the government, and he went out and bought an ATV.
Yeah.
And I think he wrecked it after a year, and it's a long gone, and if anything, nothing more than a story. Well, the county looked at it like this, this is a remarkable amount of money that's going out, and we have no choice in the matter. It's going out. Our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren will be paying this debt back in 20 or in 50 years. And we said, rather than just flitter that away on things that there's no example of in 50 years, we believe that a brick and mortar building, something that we're required to provide as a health department, public health department. Now, we don't provide their administrative department, which they lease currently, but we do provide the health department where the doctors, nurses can take care of people and their problems.
Space.
Exactly. And so we're required by law to do that. And so we said, what better thing to do than to build a new health department or repair the other, however it's going to work out.
Give them
we're
the
not
resources
100%
to
sure,
grow
but 50
and continue.
years from now, that'll still be here, and we've actually accomplished something for our community rather than
did something
just throwing money out the window, which unfortunately I believe a lot of the
and that
the stimulus has been just that.
And that probably lines up more with the spirit of what it's for versus what people did with it,
Right. And so, I'm real proud to work for Chaves County where that's the way that they think, that, we need to provide something long-term and not just frivolous expense.
Sure.
So we approved ASA Architects, which is a local architecture firm. They are in other places in the state, but they also have an office here.
Okay.
And so we're really anxious to work with them. They've helped us on other projects. And so we're really looking forward to moving on that.
So look for more to come on that facility here as progress is made there, obviously.
So are we running short, or we?
We're running a little short, but we can. Okay. We got time for a little bit more.
Wrap it up quickly. Okay. So we also had Charles Eastless, the undersheriff. He came forward and asked for the Law Enforcement Protection Fund application to be approved. Every year they put in an application for a grant to get a lot of stuff that they need. can be anything from ammunition to bulletproof vest. I don't know what the proper terminology is. There's a lot of things that they can buy with the Law Enforcement Protection Fund. Very specific things, but there are a lot of things they can do.
But things they need to protect their officers.
And to do their job. And so every year they bring that forward and say, can we turn this in? Are you guys in improvement and in agreement? And the commissioners, of course, 5-0 said, yes, turn that in, do that. So
wasn't much debate there needed.
And let's see, I think that's pretty much everything that we did. Permission to publish for the 2022 public road hearing. As I said, the freeholders looked at the roads. Now the next step of that is going to be, there will be a public hearing at the April meeting. People can come in and say, I'm in favor, I'm against. The people that turned in the applications come in and say, the reason I'm asking is for this. And the commissioners don't make a decision. They just have the public hearing, and then they go out probably in the following week and actually physically look at the roads themselves, just like the freeholders did. And then they come back in May and say, okay, we've heard the public hearing, we've heard what the freeholders said, and we've been out to the roads, and now we're going to make a decision.
Here's our final decision. Very good. So basically 2 big steps left in that process.
And then the last thing that we did was a request for out-of-state travel. This guy that works for the county named Bill Williams asked if he could go to Nebraska to a 30 by 30 summit. And I've told you in the past, we're working to try to figure out what the government's plan is to withdraw 30% of the nation's lands and waters by the year 2030. Again, turn them into wilderness areas, off limits, whatever. We're trying to figure out what that means.
Okay.
We've got the governor of Nebraska is going to speak there. There's several senators and representatives, U.S. senators, representatives, other states coming together because we're all saying, the bulk of these lands are in the West. People in the East, like they generally do, don't have federal lands, but they're the ones telling us what's going to happen. And we already have 60% of Chaves County out of our control. That's not the land you want? You want an additional 30%? We need to get to the bottom of it. So we're having a summit there with many people, not just from the western states, but from all over the U.S. will join there and try to explain what our issues are and try to get the answers that we need to move forward or stop it, whichever way it goes.
Would join together so they can fight back some of these things.
So
makes sense.
But
very good.
That's it. Thank you for having me again.
Anytime, as always. Appreciate it. Now, don't forget the county commission meeting for April will be moved up a week.
Yes, I believe it's the 14th, but I don't have a calendar.
It's the second Thursday of the month instead of the third. Yeah. So we'll make a note, and then we're going to, of course, have Bill back the next day.
Yeah, and then the special meeting on Monday.
Yes.
So if you
those are both open to the public.
They are all up. Yeah, we Open Meetings Act. We always make sure that they're advertised and people can come out and hear what we have to say. And there's often times for public comment. It just depends on what kind of meeting it is. But 2:00 on Monday. So
these meetings are all open to the public. Only time they're not is when the commission has to go in to talk personnel or talk any legal proceedings.
Yeah.
But past that, everything's public.
And even in those closed sessions like that, no decisions can be made.
Right.
You can only discuss pending or threatened litigation or limited personnel matters. There's only a short list of things that you can actually discuss, union negotiations, things like that. But you can't make a decision. That has to be done publicly.
Done on the record.
Yeah.
So very good. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit as always. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you here in April.
Yep. My wife and I are going dancing tomorrow. We're going to the Elks, I think, is having a fundraiser. And
oh, nice.
She's a singer, so I don't usually get to dance because she's up there doing it. So I sit there and tap my toe and wish I could.
So now you got a dance partner.
So I got a dance partner.
Oh,
Score.
Nice. Good for you. Well, enjoy.
Thank you.
Don't come in with a broken leg or nothing.
Not that old. I'm not going to break a hip.
I don't know if you tried pulling a difficult dance move and didn't go.
Oh, no. Mine's pretty basic stuff.
I keep it right here. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate
Thank
you. All right. It is 8:56. Let's go ahead and do a quick news update and quick break before we get you into national news. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. 3 men sentenced in separate cases recently for being felons in possession of a firearm. 33-year-old Levi Mejia was charged in 2 cases. He was sentenced to a total of 6 years. 26-year-old Victor Richardson also sentenced to 6 years. And 21-year-old Pedro Cash Kirkman received a 2-year sentence. The sentences vary based on different factors that could be involved in each individual case. 5 companies working in the Permian Basin doing oil and gas work have been fined for failing to report methane emissions, which is required by state law. The fines for $55,000 each. All of the operators are based in Midland, Texas. A congressional oversight committee said Thursday it's opening an investigation into a partisan audit of the 2020 election results that is taking place in New Mexico, and the audit authorized by a Republican-led county commission. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The House has voted to suspend normal trade relations with Russia and Belarus, preparing for President Biden to enact higher tariffs on more products and further weaken the Russian economy in response to its military assault on Ukraine. The U.S. has already taken steps to shut off the importation of Russian oil, liquefied natural gas, seafood, alcohol, and diamonds. The vote on Thursday sets the stage for making it more expensive to import certain steel, aluminum, and plywood items, among other goods. PayPal said Thursday that its users will now be able to send money to Ukrainians, both in the war-ravaged country as well as those now refugees across Europe. Previously, people in Ukraine were only able to use the payments platform to send money out of the country. They will now be able to receive funds as well as make transfers within Ukraine and abroad. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
If your tires are flat, need your car fixed, our reviews are better than mixed at Big O. At Big O Tires. We do the job fast and with a smile. Whatever the problem, we go the extra mile at Big O. At Big O Tires. Trusted service, no need to lie. Hop online, our reviews are high at Big O. At Big O Tires. Unbeatable service in all our stores, and that's why we get such high scores at Big O. At Big O Tires.
You can trust the team at Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Come in today and save up to $100 instantly on select in-stock sets of Cooper, Nitto, and Pirelli brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra, required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Not valid with other offers. Valid at participating locations. Expires 3/27/2022.
Get smoking hot deals during the sizzling savings event at Roswell Nissan. Like a 2015 Ford F-150 for just $307 a month, or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $149 a month. And join Roswell Nissan March 26th from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kiddos, and your chance to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 26th at 1. Must be present to win. Get a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a portable grill and a chance at the cash grab just for stopping by. On now at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We'll be back on the other side of Town Hall News. Don't forget, next hour we're going to have Bob Power talk about Big Dance Saturday night. Also, Raylan Bean talking about their meeting tomorrow as well.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As his troops continue slaughtering innocent civilians in Ukraine, bombing cities and towns to rubble, Vladimir Putin attends big flag-waving rally in a Moscow sports stadium, a rare public appearance for Putin since he started the war several weeks ago. The rally marking the 8th anniversary of Russia seizing the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine. Something civilians in Ukraine's embattled cities have had to do over and over again in recent weeks, having to sweep up the shattered glass and other debris left by Russian bombs and missiles. 16-year-old Vlad Kirienko says the home of one of his best friends was hit.
The windows are broken, their house is broken, and we don't know what to do.
The Ukrainian capital remains under siege. The BBC's James Waterhouse saying the Ukrainians continue offering fierce resistance.
Kyiv is a city, along with Mykolaiv to the south, where Russian forces are thought to be being frustrated by the Ukrainian defense. They're not being allowed to encircle the city like in other locations. But even in cities which are encircled, like Chernihiv to the north, Sumy to the northeast, and Kharkiv in the east, the Ukrainian forces tell us again and again that they are holding out.
President Biden discussing the war in a phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping. China, one of Putin's closest allies. The administration has warned Beijing of unspecified consequences if it supports Putin's war on Ukraine. Smattering of economic reports this morning, including existing home sales. They tumbled 7.2% last month compared to January, according to the National Association of Realtors. Also, the index of leading economic indicators advanced 0.3% last month. Wall Street, the Dow is down 106 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
The Food and Drug Administration is mulling the possibility of yet another COVID shot for the already vaccinated.
Drug maker Moderna is requesting U.S. authorization for a 4th shot of its COVID-19 vaccine as a booster dose for all adults. Moderna submitted its request Thursday to the Food and Drug Administration. The request from Moderna is broader than the request that rival Pfizer submitted earlier this week. Pfizer's request was for a booster shot for all seniors. U.S. health officials currently recommend a primary series of 2 doses of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines and a booster dose months later. Mike Gracia, Washington.
Australia's government says the Great Barrier Reef is suffering widespread and severe coral bleaching due to high ocean temperatures 2 years after a mass bleaching event. The report issued by the Great Barrier Reef Marine Authority, which manages the world's largest coral reef ecosystem. Townhall.com. The feds are looking to force Amazon to reinstate a fired worker.
The employee was terminated from his New York City warehouse job after leading a protest in the early days of the pandemic calling for better COVID protections. The worker had gotten into a dispute with another worker while off the job during the protest, and the company later fired him for violating its vulgar language policy. Amazon's questioning the timing of the Labor Board's decision, noting the action comes just ahead of next week's vote by workers at the Staten Island facility on whether to form a union. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
PayPal says its users will now be able to send money to Ukrainians, both in the war-ravaged country as well as those now refugees across Europe. Previously, people in Ukraine were only able to use the payments platform to send money out of the country. They will now be able to receive funds as well as to make transfers within Ukraine and abroad. And once again on Wall Street, the Dow down 114. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Grace Inviernos.
There you go. Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5.
Purpose served.
Roswell Talk. And I'm spent.
Well, be seeing you. I gotta commit.
Happy Friday, everybody, and I hope you have a good one, or having a good one right now. If not, you got a lot of time to turn it around. It's going to be a beautiful day. Like, you know, we had all that wind yesterday. Today it's same, like 60s, but no winds, or not as much winds. And then tomorrow's going to be real nice, too. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Got to thank the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, are kind enough to provide us with delicious breakfast treats. I always get my iced tea. That's my go-to, an iced tea. And then I like the original Egg McMuffin and hash brown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go fancy or falutin. I mean, I will. I ain't scared to, but I don't need to. That's all I'm saying. So.
You know what? We both have, like, weirdly the tastes of, like, the elderly. Because, like, you get you specifically just your iced tea. Just let me have my iced tea, and I get my oatmeal. I always get oatmeal with the raisins. And we dine at McDonald's like 65-year-old people.
I'm proud of it.
I'm just saying.
Except the difference between me and the 65-year-old, I probably got the quantity 3 times the quantity.
That's true.
Like they're just eating their one dainty sandwich, and here's fat guy Mike up there. No, I got 2 hands, 2 sandwiches.
Double fisted. That's right. That's why God gave me 2 hands and 1 mouth.
Yeah, absolutely here. So big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any of your 3 McDonald's here in town, including the new South Main, which is fully opened and ready to receive you. So
absolutely.
Come on by, and Playland's open, the whole 9. So come see the new digs out there. A lot bigger, lot more amenities available.
Still hiring also, mchire.com.
Yeah, log on there and start a career with McDonald's, and legit is a career.
Absolutely.
The Snowberger family that own the McDonald's here in town, many of his management staff, the big wigs, all started flipping burgers and serving food and cleaning up the lobby and doing all that stuff. So
there's certain like moments in life when you realize, okay, I've hit a certain like milestone or hurdle in life. I'm old, and one of them is I can go up to Nick and be like, I used to work for your daddy. It's just kind of a weird thing. It's like, yeah, I'm old.
He's like,
and
me
that
too.
used to be a Tasty Freeze.
Me too. But swing on by. Thank you to McDonald's for sponsoring our show each and every day. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Here in just a minute, we're going to get you up to date with the weather. And then right on the other side of that, Raylene Bean with Central Valley Electric Cooperative will be joining us here tomorrow. Friendly reminder to all CVE members, tomorrow is their annual meeting happening at the Stella Yates Auditorium there in Artesia. We'll get you all the details about what's going on, and there's always fun and frivolity that goes along with the meeting. It's not all business, so we'll talk about the fun and frivolity part too. So we'll do that here in a few. Then in just a little bit after that, after news and all that, we'll have Bob Power join us. And tomorrow night, they've got a dance out at Westminster Presbyterian Church. Cibola Springs will be performing along with Cindy Richardson doing some 50s and 60s rock and roll. Marvin Roberts doing some country western. So it's a little bit of everything. All they need is you and your dancing shoes. So nice. We'll talk with Bob here a little bit later about that show. Plus, we'll have all your features that include the news and whatnot, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and take a quick look at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking at low 60s today with cool high pressure moving in from the Rockies. We'll have plenty of sunshine and a little bit gusty wind, occasionally up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight will be clear, low 30s, and then we warm into the mid 70s with plenty of sun coming up for Saturday. A few clouds Saturday night, sunny and up to 80 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Apparently, they still must be having some kind of issues with whoever does the readings out at the airport, because Weather Service is still giving me big fat NA for current temps. But I can tell you this, mostly sunny today, 63 for a high. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 32. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, tomorrow, you might even consider shorts. Just saying. What's that, current temp 33? Feels, I'll go with that. I have no idea. Sunny, 74 tomorrow. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 38. And then Sunday, it's going to be warm, 82 and mostly sunny, but the winds are coming with it. Breezy, south winds 5 to 10 early, 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour by Sunday afternoon. And then they're saying there's a chance, some rain chances. Sunday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain, like past midnight, way late. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 44 and breezy. And then Monday, we're looking at a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Partly cloudy, 66 for a high. 60% chance of rain for Monday night as well. Then mostly cloudy otherwise, 38, and then a 50% on Tuesday. So we might get some rain. Knock on wood. All right, it is 12 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Central Valley Electric Cooperative, Raylene Bean with us. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing great. I know it's kind of a busy time of the year for Central Valley Electric. For folks that don't know, if you're a CVE member, you get a say in the running of the company. That's how being a co-op works. And so one of the big duties of the co-op is to have this annual meeting where it's a meeting of the members and they discuss the future of the company and go over what's going on in the last year. And so this is kind of one of those things that here's your responsibility. You get the perks of being a CVE member and a decision and of course, you know, the ability to access all the amenities of being a CVE member. But this is kind of your responsibility day tomorrow where you come in and learn about the reports. You know, they do the elections and things like that. So for one time a year, we want to ask everyone to come on out and gather for this event here. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But they dangle carrots. They like to do door prizes and all that stuff. I know COVID over the last couple of years has kind of put a damper on some of the things you can do. But for this year, what's on tap for besides the meeting, the ancillary stuff?
Right. So we are back at the Estelle Yates Auditorium.
Yeah.
You know, 2020 it was canceled. Last year we did a drive-through.
Yeah, which worked out great. By the way.
It really did. And so this year we're back in the auditorium. We're changing the format just a little bit.
Okay.
The meeting usually started at 1. We're doing it a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And we're condensing it.
Gotcha.
And
so you're kind of saying, hey, we want you to come out, but we're not going to eat up a couple hours of your day. Absolutely. We're going to get you out pretty quick.
Yes. So we're just going to start registering at 9 o'clock in the morning. The meeting will start at 10. I don't anticipate the meeting lasts more than 45 minutes.
Okay.
So it's going to be short and sweet.
Gotcha.
So the first 200 members that come and register, we are going to give you a $50 Visa gift card.
Nice. So get there.
Just
the
for
early
showing
bird
up.
gets the
Yes,
worm this
absolutely,
time. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we also have, when you register, you're going to get a bag that's got goodies and different things in there, co-op information, things like that. And then we do have door prizes still that we will give away.
So we'll be giving away some sweet door prizes and things like that. And this is really an opportunity for you, the members, to learn about CVE. You should have gotten in the mail the annual report.
Yes.
If you did not get it or you misplaced it or whatever, I know there's a copy on the CVE Facebook page. If you or a link to the copy of the report there.
There's one on our website.
And on the CVEcoop.org website,
right.
You can find it there as well. But I invite you to maybe peruse that at least before the meeting on tomorrow, and that way you have a general idea of some of that stuff. But basically, that's what goes on is they report, you know, the finding, how the past year, future plans, if there's any changes in the board and things like that, they do it at this time. But the part that you as the member, I think, is very important is this is a chance for you to talk to staff, talk to all the different aspects of CVE, and find out if you're truly taking advantage of, like, there's so many, like, if you want to learn about the Smart Hub or discounts on water heaters, things like that, go to the website and learn at any time. But if you want to sit down and talk to someone more about these things or trying to get an understanding of how that Smart Hub works a little better, there's going to be people there that can answer those questions for you too. So use this to, you know, come and try to win some cool door prizes and learn about what's going on. But at the same time, use this as an opportunity to make sure you're taking the most out of your membership with CVE, because you kind of have a unique situation by being a CVE. I'm kind of jealous. I can't can't do it. I don't live in the region that it's allowed here in Chaves County. But for those folks that here in Chaves and of course Lee and Eddy counties, if you're getting power from CVE, even if you're a rentor and you're living and paying your rent, you're a CVE member. That's, if you're getting power to you, the place you live or work, that makes you a member of CVE. Right. So come out to the meeting tomorrow. It doesn't cost you anything. Like I said, get there. They'll start pre-registering about 9 o'clock and everything. And then you sign up and and like you said, get there early. I guarantee if you try to just show up at 10, you're probably going to miss out on the $50 gift card. So get there early and make sure you're there lined up at 9 o'clock to get in and all that, so you can get your $50. Because I'll if you don't want it, I'll take your $50 gift card.
Right. So in that annual report that was mailed out last week, there's an insert where we have proposed some bylaw changes too. So. That's something that we haven't voted on in several years where we've had any changes to the bylaws. So there's just a few little cleanup items, basically.
Housekeeping style stuff. But if, do your reading on it, and if you have any questions about it,
absolutely,
bring them to the meeting and they'll be happy to clarify all that stuff.
And then we do have 3 board members that are up for election.
Okay.
And
so there will be three decisions to be made.
Yes.
Very good.
So, you got to vote on some reports. All of the reports that are contained within the annual report, we just need a vote to approve or not approve.
Gotcha.
And then the bylaw changes, the board elections.
Gotcha.
And I think that's all of the business.
That's the major business.
Yes, that's the major business that should happen.
Yeah, and then the rest is fun.
And then door prizes.
They have a good time with it.
That's the fun part.
But really, use this as an opportunity to learn and take advantage of some of this stuff.
Right.
If you're if that Smart Hub is a great tool, if you're wondering why you're spending. If you're trying to hunt down why you're spending more money on your utility usage and things like that, that's an amazing tool because it'll tell you where the peak parts, and so if you're like, man, I didn't realize I was using this much electricity when I'm not even home. The Smart Hub will tell you that kind of stuff, and then you can use accordingly and say, all right, well maybe I'll back off the air a little bit here, or why do I keep the TV running while I'm gone? Maybe I should turn that off.
Right.
Things like that. That's the stuff this thing helps you with, and of course it's also a precursor for issues. I don't know how many times Lee and I have talked where people have wells and it's like an electric pump or something,
right.
and they're seeing, oh man, it's using a lot of electricity, and it's an indicator saying something's going wrong with their well system, and they're able to diagnose and treat it, and all because they saw a spike in the Smart Hub. That's the kind of tool. That's the kind of tool this thing is used, and there's a lot of membership perks to being a member of CVE. If you're looking for water heaters, things like that, you can shop on the website and get those at a deeply discounted prices. All of them are the better energy rated ones, and I think you even get if you got talking stuff, but even some of the bigger commercial size ones you can help out with too. Call ahead and talk with, but it's not just 40, 50. You got to have a couple that 70, 80 gallon, the bigger ones too.
And those are commercial.
Yeah. So they've got those available too.
Right.
So.
And we have a free home energy audit that we're offering right now, and we've contracted with Green Metal Energy. They're a wonderful company, and so Central Valley Electric Co-op members can have a free home energy audit. They'll do different tests to your home to find out where you're losing heating and cooling, and then make some minor repairs to correct that.
The simple stuff's free of charge. They fix it. I've had something similar done to my home,
right?
And it takes usually about an hour. They come in, and it's gangbusters. They come in, this crew. They've got it down to a science.
They do. They're good.
And they're hooking up things to your door to test sealing, the sealing of the door, not sealing of your house. But your vents, they'll go in and even under the pipes under your sinks and things, they'll make sure that those are insulated properly, or and if it's little stuff like putting some caulk around some ceilings or pressure or replacing some weather stripping around your door, they do all that free of charge.
Right. They've adjusted doors.
Yeah.
So you don't see the cracks.
Yeah, they do. And if it's something major, like maybe your air conditioner is about to go out, and then they can help you, tell you what you need and set and work with you on setting up getting those repaired. If it's something more. A bigger scope of something being repaired, but it's a free home energy audit available to every CVE member. I think you get one. What is it, if you haven't one in 5 years? I don't know the numbers.
I don't know that I know that either. I think maybe just one.
Yeah, but if you haven't had one in a while,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
Reach out to CVE as a CVE member, and they'll free of charge schedule one to come out and get it. And I'm telling you, you'll be amazed at how, and you'll see a difference. I know I can even I could just tell in the house when they were done, certain areas where I was like, it's a little drafty now. And you're like, oh, look at that. It's maintaining temperature in this part of the house a little better now. So yeah, you'll notice that kind of stuff. And again, all free of charge to you as a CVE member. So.
Right. Well, in Green Metal Energy, they're a great company, and I've had people that have called in. I've called and let Green Metal Energy know that they're interested, and they'll be at their house the next day to do the audit.
That's great.
Yeah.
So they're on it.
They are. They're really good.
And in this day and age where everything's delayed, that's an even bigger feat to say.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. So utilize that. But come out to the meeting tomorrow. What time? 9 o'clock is when the registration starts, but 10 o'clock is when the meeting officially starts. So try to get there early. That way you can get like the free Visa cards and all that kind of stuff. But I get it. Life happens. And if you can't roll in till 10 o'clock, then but we'd love to have you come out to the Estelle Yates Auditorium. For folks that are not familiar, that's the high school auditorium in Artesia.
Correct.
So go to the Bulldog Bowl, and it's right next door there, basically. You'll see a bunch of cars, a bunch of people just park right there, and they'll take care of you. But and this is I wonder if I imagine more so, especially now since it's been drive-through and none the last. The CVE annual meeting is kind of like a gathering of people. You know, you get the folks from out of town kind of coming in and visiting and stuff. And back pre-COVID, you guys got to have the big sit-down lunch and all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of put a damper on some of that. But this is going to be the first time in a couple of years that we all can basically sit in a building together and talk and communicate. It's not, waving at you through a car window or something like that. So I imagine you're going to get a lot of people just ready to come out and visit again. Even
I hope so.
Even if, we want them to learn and gain information, but if your method behind your madness is just to get in town and meet some people and visit with them, awesome. Come on out and make that happen.
Right.
So very good. Is there anything else we want to make sure to mention? Is there any? Oh, I do want to ask you this. I know hiring. You guys are always. Is there any positions or?
You know what? Actually, we have 5 open positions right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have an HR specialist position opened. We have a member services rep position open. A warehouse assistant.
Okay.
An engineering tech. And an apprentice lineman.
Wow. So you got some great opportunities
we do.
At various levels there.
Right.
And this is the thing I'd like to. It's the employment at CVE is very family like. It's very it's a co-op. The co-op, the business is a family, and the employees are just as much that way. So what I'm trying to say is they don't get a lot of openings all the time because their employees get there, they love it there, and they end up working 20, 30 years before they retire.
Right.
So to have this many openings this time is a unique situation. So if you're looking for an opportunity, and especially some of these entry-level positions, you're really getting on the ground floor with a career and a family-like atmosphere. You could really start here as an apprentice lineman or whatever and do your career and end up, in a management position and making decent money and having great benefits and a great fun working environment. There's a reason why those people stay 20 and 30 years. It's because they're happy they're there. If you're happy, you don't want to leave. And so it's a good I cannot tell you what bigger testimony it is go to their meetings when they honor, go to their website when they honor. It's always a laundry list of people, 10, 20, 30 years of service to Central Valley Electric.
And that's all in our annual report, too. So our general manager, he's getting a service pin this year. He's been there 35 years.
Yeah.
Our head engineer's been there 30.
Yeah. So it's and with that, so you get a wealth of experience and so even like I would gather, because there's so much of that, like being an apprentice at CVE, saying being an apprentice at some other company might get you more because you have so many people that been there so long. They're more experienced. They're more educated. They're more understanding of what it is, and they're probably good at passing that kind of stuff on to the younger folks as they're learning their way into the business and stuff too.
Absolutely.
So I would even argue that maybe your apprenticeship might be more valuable because you've got a little bit better wisdom that's kind of mentoring you into these jobs.
Good point.
So please apply today. Go to cvecoop.org.
Yes.
cvecoop.org. That'll take no hyphen spaces. Go there and go ahead and go there, bookmark it. That way you can stay, especially if you're a CVE member, because that way you can go access your Smart Hub stuff, do all that through the website there. And of course, if you want to download apps to your phone and all that, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to call and come by. I know, especially some older folks, like we don't embrace technology as much as because we got our ways, we get set in our ways.
Right.
But to be honest, sometimes that app, it can be very helpful as far as seeing numbers, paying your bill, things like that too. So
well, and there's also on our website, there's an outage map you can click and see. I mean,
exactly
if your power's out, you can kind of see the area that the power is out. And
so you can find out right away instead of going around, your power out, what's going on?
Right.
Why is the power out? Yeah, you get all. Because as soon as it goes out, you want to know.
Right
away. And we never find out. Imagine in the world before the internet. Remember, like when the power went out, there's like, you can't look on nothing because you have no power.
Right.
I guess you could, hopefully maybe see if a radio had something on there, but there wasn't smartphones around to get on the internet and look up real quick. So, but again, apply cvucoop.org for there. And of course, if you have questions about anything, you can't make it to the meeting Saturday, you can always come by the main office there on 13th and Artesia and come visit and ask any questions about anything that, even from paying your electric bill to just general questions about your bills or smart hubs, or even if you're like maybe considering upgrading to geothermal or something like that and kind of want to see it in action. Come on by the CVE facility there and take a look. They'll be happy to explain to you how it works and the benefits of it. And
absolutely.
Now that you guys have had it, 6 years? How long have you had that building?
We moved in 2013.
Oh gosh, it's almost 10 years.
It's been longer than we realized.
Oh my goodness, it's almost been 10 years.
It has. That's
Holy
crazy.
Cow. I'm getting old. Very good. Well, thank you as always, Raylene, and we'll see you here. We'll get to see you here more often now that Leah has decided to retire here and spend more time with her family.
Absolutely.
So good for her. But you say you're an ample replacement. Just kidding. I won't, because Leo, I don't want to listen. I would say you're better, but I'll give you a wink like you're better.
She did a good job.
She did a very good job. Leah's is a great person, and good news is she's still in the area, so we get to see her in community and going out and having fun and all that stuff. But good deal. But again, one more time, tomorrow, CVE annual meeting. Registration starts at 9 a.m. The meeting starts at 10. It's all happening at the Estelle Yates auditorium, the high school auditorium at the Artesia High School. Come on out, get there early, sign up. First 200 get that $50 Visa gift card. And this is your chance to vote on the new board members, learn the state of the state for CVE, and of course answer your questions and learn more about and to take advantage of all the benefits you get as a CVE member. So good deal. Well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right. It is 9:29. We're going to take a quick break and some news, and then stay tuned on the other side. Bob Power is going to join us, and he's going to invite you to come after your CVE meeting in the morning. Then he's going to invite you to come get your dance shoes on and come out Saturday night for a fun dance. So that's coming up next.
This time of year, we all like to have fun talking about four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, and the luck of the Irish. But when it comes to finding a nice pre-owned vehicle you can really count on, you need more than just luck. You need a dealer like Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Great-looking late-model pickups, SUVs, sports cars, and family sedans. But more important than how they look is how they run, so Roswell Ford puts every one through a rigorous 139-point inspection. On top of that, Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee, so if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. That's a lot more than luck. That's true peace of mind. And if you really have a nice car or truck you'd like to sell, please bring it by. We'll look it over and make you an offer on the spot. So when you're ready to move up to a newer vehicle, don't take chances. Come see your friends at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, and leave your rabbit's foot at home.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare.
Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Attention high school students, would you like more information on the most affordable four-year university in New Mexico? Then RSVP today to our Eastern New Mexico University Open House Preview Day, Saturday, March 26th. At ENMU Open House, you will have a chance to win great prizes, such as an iPad and a $500 scholarship. Get more information about admissions and scholarships. Meet with ENMU faculty. Find out more about potential majors and get a specialized campus tour from ENMU students. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Explore, experience, excel. Eastern New Mexico University.
Time to put your money where your mouth is. The March Mania Slam Dunk Savings Event is on at Roswell Honda. Saturday, March 19th from 10 to 1, the hoop will be set up at Roswell Honda. Shoot for up to $1,000 discount. Enjoy free food and drinks, fun for the whole family, and register to win a 54-inch Spalding portable basketball hoop. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test driver service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 19th at 1, must be present to win. Score big during the Slam Dunk Savings Event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. 3 men sentenced in separate cases recently for being felons in possession of a firearm. 33-year-old Levi Mejia was charged in 2 cases. He was sentenced to a total of 6 years. 26-year-old Victor Richardson also sentenced to 6 years. And 21-year-old Pedro Cash Kirkman received a 2-year sentence. The sentences vary based on different factors that could be involved in each individual case. 5 companies working in the Permian Basin doing oil and gas work have been fined for failing to report methane emissions, which is required by state law. The fines for $55,000 each. All of the operators are based in Midland, Texas. A Congressional Oversight Committee said Thursday it's opening an investigation into a partisan audit of the 2020 election results that is taking place in New Mexico, and the audit authorized by a Republican-led county commission. You're up to date. That's local news headlines. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 34 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Bob Powers back with us. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good for an old buzzard.
Good deal. I see the St. Patrick spirit hasn't completely left you yet there. I see you got a little green going on the beard here this morning.
That's because I made a dumb mistake.
Did you went all out for St. Patty's Day and realized that stuff didn't come out so easy?
You can buy that stuff that you spray on, and it washes right out. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I used food dye.
Okay. And it didn't want to come out?
It doesn't want to come out. No, well, I've got some on my hands yet, and I bought paint thinner.
And that wouldn't do it either, huh?
And
I don't know. The green beard looks good. I think you should keep it.
I'd gladly give it to you.
Well, so you think you're gonna have to shave it, or you think is that gonna be coming down to that, or I don't know. We might see a bald-faced Bob Power here in a little bit.
I'm gonna buy some peroxide and bleach today.
There you go. Give that a go. See. Yeah. Well, good luck. I've had that. I've had similar. I played the Grinch a couple years for the Community Little Theater, and so they greened me up for all that. And yeah, my facial hair, it came out, but I had to scrub it hard. I had to borrow my wife has these makeup pads that are moistened that you can use to get makeup off, and so I had to go through hard with those to get it out finally. So.
Well, I used alcohol, Mr. Clean, soap and water on my hands, and none of it even touched it.
Wow. Oh man! So if you need to make something really green, you look at that food dye company. That might be the trick for you here. But well, if you got a green beard or not, doesn't matter. Come on out and have some fun tomorrow night. You're going to have another big dance out at Westminster Presbyterian Church. Sounds like you got a little bit of everything from everybody with the music varieties here with Sebla Springs, and then of course Cindy Richardson and Marvin Roberts. You got there's bound to be a type of music and all of that's going to tickle your fancy.
Well, Cindy and Marvin are brother and sister.
Okay.
And
one's a little country, one's a little rock and roll.
Yeah. And they're both fantastic.
Yeah. And they're going to be playing tomorrow night at the dance here.
Right.
Now, the dance will be taking place at Westminster Presbyterian Church. It's tomorrow night. And if you're not familiar, it's 2801 West 4th. It's right kind of behind Champion Motorsports there, a little catty corner, actually. But if you turn on that road next to Champion and go straight, you'll run right into Westminster Presbyterian Church right there.
Yeah.
And the dance will be from 6 to 9 p.m. So you can get there at 6 and start dancing. But if you can't make it till 6:30 or so, no problem. Come on in. And they're going to be kicking the music and all that stuff till about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So.
And we're advertising light refreshments.
Yeah.
But
they got a little heavier?
It got a little heavier, yeah. We've got a lot of food.
Oh, good.
Tonight.
Good deal. So come hungry, or if you're not hungry, cut a rug or two, and then by that time you're going to be ready to nosh onto something there and eat something.
And where can you get as much food as we're giving out and great entertainment for $5?
That's the beauty of it. It's $5 per person to get in for the dance here, and so bring a date, or if you don't have a date, maybe you'll meet a date. Come solo and see if you can maybe meet a dance partner while you're out there too. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Sebla Springs, of course, they've played a bunch of stuff around here and got quite a good following of in this area. And then of course, like you said, Cindy Richardson and Marvin Roberts. They're another pair of great musicians. They're going to be performing as well. So, and Sebla Springs is they do a little bit of everything too, right? You know, like Cindy's doing her 50s, 60s rock and roll, and Robert doing the country westerns. Sebla Springs does a little bit of country, little rock and roll, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, Cindy and Marvin are Sebla Springs.
Is that them? Okay, I didn't realize that they were. So they're doing it separate and together.
Yeah.
Okay, now I follow.
And Cindy used to entertain in Vegas. She was on stage in Vegas, and she lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a while. And, you know, that's a big area, a lot of population, a lot of entertainers.
Yeah.
And she won Female Country Entertainer of the Year 2 years.
So she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
She's fantastic.
So the talent,
she does a great job.
So come out and appreciate the talent of it. And to be honest, this is the best way to, like, when you get musicians like that have performed for big audiences and have, you know, kind of that lived in that world, when they come to a place that's like a dance here at the church, their shows are so much more powerful to me, because it's like seeing a big name artist. I don't know. The Beatles. Seeing the Beatles, of course, they fill arenas. 50, 60, 100,000 people will see and watch them at a setting.
Yeah.
And then you go see someone like that in a place that holds 30, 40 people. And it's so intimate and everything. And what I'm trying to say is, when you get someone like Cindy who's done the big things and doing some of that, and then you get to see that professionalism in a setting where it's very intimate, you and 20, 30, whatever other people in a room here, you appreciate the greatness of what those people can do when you see that. And so even if you're not a big dancer but love music and stuff, I think you're going to come out and just appreciate the quality of the live music that they bring. And the fact that there's such a great variety, you're going to live music's a different animal. I'm not into country western in my own life and things. I don't listen to it on the radio and stuff, but to see it live, to go and like I always use the Flying J Wranglers as an example, up in Alto there. That's not my kind of music per se. You aren't going to go onto my record collection or whatever and see a bunch of their music there. It's just not what I'm into personally. But I will pay 10 times what I need to, and twice on Sunday to go see them live, because the live show is so impressive. Even if it's not my style of music, I still love it. And that's what you're going to get with these guys here tomorrow night with Sibo Springs and Cindy and Marvin. Is you may not be into a country western song or 50s or 60s rock and roll per se, but then you hear them perform and you're like, wow, that is so cool, the quality of the singing, and that you appreciate the live talent and the skill set it takes to do that. And it's way different than hearing a CD or seeing something online versus you're seeing them with the instruments in hand, with the mic in their hand, and they're performing. It's a whole different, and live music is 10 times better than anything you get recorded, and I don't even care if you don't like it. You're going to come out and have a good time.
Well, we're blowing Cindy up, but Marvin, one of my favorite country songs is "My Woman, My Woman, My Wife" by Marty Robbins, and I requested that with every country group in Roswell in the area, and they all say no.
Can't do it.
They can't do it because it's so hard to sing. Marvin does that beautifully.
Nice.
And he's got a great voice, and he's a great entertainer.
Yeah, and then we pair him up with Cindy there, they make magic. And
that's right.
So come out, come dance, come have some fun here, come hungry, like you said. Bring a couple. It's going to be at Westminster Presbyterian Church. Hey, if you want a precursor, tonight they've got some music and stuff going on out at Westminster Presbyterian Church as well, don't they?
Yeah, Jim Ridgway is doing a gig out there.
Okay.
And
you may see him on the Charles County Courthouse lawn on Friday nights performing religious music and things, but they're going to be performing tonight at Westminster.
And this is really important. Jim needs attendance to talk to the people besides the prayer, the songs, and the sermons.
Sure. He wants to hit a bigger
He
crowd.
needs to talk to the people about his permits.
Okay.
Because Jim started this out every Friday night on the courthouse lawn. They cut them down to once every other week.
Okay, so every 2 weeks.
And now they're saying every 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Okay, so like a once a month type thing.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Okay.
And he wants to get back.
He's trying to do more shows, not less.
To a more regular schedule.
Okay.
Where he can spread the word of Jesus Christ.
And have a following, know exactly where he's going to be each week.
Right.
Yeah. So for right now, he's at Westminster tonight. Now, what time is he going to get going? Do you know?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. And again, Westminster Presbyterian Church is located 2801 West 4th.
And he's having tubular prime rib.
Ooh.
Which is hot dogs.
I don't care. It's food. I like it. Tube steak, as we call it sometimes.
He's serving hot dogs
Nice.
and other food with it, cookies.
So he's got some refreshments and snacks with a meal. Yeah.
And there's no charge for this.
Awesome. So come out, learn, have a little meal here, and of course the beautiful music and the message too. That's when we're talking about this.
Exactly.
He's his music. He wants the message. He wants to spread God's love, and that's what. At the end of the day, that's the point of what he's doing, and he's trying to get more people and more. But if you want to talk to him about permit stuff or an expert or dealing with some of that stuff, come out tonight. Maybe share those experiences, and maybe between you and them, we can kind of figure out a plan of attack to try to get back to being regular out on the courthouse lawn.
And Jim has done this for many years now, and for them to cut him back on the times he can do it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it'd be one thing if it was booked, like they said, we can't give it to you because there's already an event that's been booked there. But if that's not the case, then why not have it? You know what I mean? If it's just there empty anyway. I mean, to be honest, other than special events or First Fridays, it doesn't get utilized, like every, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they'll have a special event out there, Chili Cheese Fest or something like that. And then, of course, your church groups meet on Friday. But other than that, and then the farmers market in the summer. But You know what I mean? It really doesn't get, so if it's not being used, why not let it be used to do spread the word and do some of the good stuff there. So
Yeah.
hopefully, but come out to Westminster tonight to learn more about that. And then, of course, come back to Westminster Presbyterian Church tomorrow night, beginning at 6 p.m. for the big fun dance with Cibola Springs. Enjoy a fun night of rock and roll, country western, good eats.
The only people that I'm aware of that are possibly entertaining tonight is Dwayne and Jill.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about them before.
And a man named Cisco.
Okay.
Who is fantastic. He plays the guitar and harmonica at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And he's got a beautiful voice.
Nice. Now, how's he can't sing and harmonica at the same time. That'd be impressive. That would be, you know how they have ventriloquists that drink water while they talk with the dummy?
Yeah.
That would be the music's version of that, is harmonicaing while singing.
Well, he plays the guitar and the harmonica at the same time.
Yeah. Or he could be, are you familiar with a band? There's a, now their name went, they were popular in the 90s. And the lead singer had a bandolier of harmonicas. So he, you know, like your bullet bandoleros with the shotgun shells.
Right.
His was like that, but it was full of harmonicas. John Popper's his name. I can't remember the band, but John Popper's is the artist. But he had a big band in the 90s. I'll remember it in an hour from now. Someone's yelling at the TV, but John Popper. But that's what it reminds me of when I think of harmonicas and all that. But again,
if we get lucky tomorrow night, we'll have Mike Winters dancing on the table for us.
Again, we're trying to get people to come. Poor table.
We've got steel reinforced tables.
There you go. I got something a little that can hold some girth here. But especially you got a lot of food, that might be a real problem after, there'll be more on the table there. So, but again, folks, come have a fun night. Come leave your cares at the door and come on out and have a dance and just have some fun. Bring your family, bring a date, whatever. Come solo and meet somebody, whatever it is. Just come out and have some fun.
You pointed out that after all that food, there'd be more to dance. But you didn't point out that you'd be able to shake better.
That's true. Yeah, because the weight distributes, and then that belly gets going, and when it's full, it's going to start swinging like a pendulum.
You'd have more to shake, yeah.
Might knock me over. Bowl full of jelly indeed. Very good. Is there anything we missed, though? Did we get it all?
Huh?
Did we get everything? Is there anything we missed that we want to make sure we tell folks about?
Well, just at 2801 West 4th Street is directly behind Champion Motorsports.
Yes.
A little big motorcycle dealership on West 2nd Street.
Yes.
You did mention that, but I mention it again.
Absolutely, yeah. It's you can't miss it. It's right behind Champion Motorsports there.
If you turn down the street that runs next to Champion Motorsports, I forget what the name of it is.
I think it's Sycamore.
No, that Sycamore
So
runs.
Sycamore's that way, then it's...
Sycamore's east of there.
Okay, so that's when you connect.
It's the first side street.
Yeah, I know the road.
Of Sycamore.
I rode the road. I just remember. I'm bad at road names, and I've never.
But if you drive down that street and keep driving straight, you'll drive right into the church.
Yes.
Right into
Don't do
Westminster.
that, by the way. Don't do that.
No.
They frown upon that when you drive into the church.
Stop before you get to the church.
Yeah, but it used to be there used to be that Masonic temple next door. I'm not sure what that is now.
It's a Pentecostal church now.
Okay. I used to live in those apartments but way back many moons ago, like in 2000. Those apartments right across from what's the the Pentecostal church. Right across those little apartments. I used to live right in there.
That might be the one they condemned.
Probably. After I left. It's pretty nice back in the day. I think I ruined it for everybody. So sorry. But Bob's always appreciate the visit. Thank you, sir. And have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. And good luck getting rid of the green.
Thank you.
If you see Bob's face glowing tomorrow, that's from chemical products that he was trying to get that green out. Take care, Bob. We'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, it is 9:51. Let's go ahead and get you into your Wall Street business update, Chaves County sports update, Hannity, and a quick break. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Existing home sales tumbled 7.2% last month compared to January, according to the National Association of Realtors. The index of leading economic indicators advanced 0.3% last month. The war in Ukraine continues to roil financial markets worldwide, Wall Street no exception. The benchmarks bouncing between gains and losses in morning trade. And as the war drags on, pressure is growing on multinationals to exit the Russian market. And the U.S. House voting to further restrict trade with Russia as punishment for its invasion of Ukraine. India's state-run oil company, the Indian Oil Corporation, purchased 3 million barrels of crude from Russia earlier this week. One official says India will look to buy more oil from Russia in the future, despite Western pressure to refrain. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Got a baseball score to pass along from yesterday. The Goddard Rockets took on Clovis at the Artesia tournament. That was the opening game of the day, and Goddard wins that one by a score of 12-9, a slugfest. The Rockets are now 2-5 overall, and will take on a team that likewise blasted somebody. It was Carlsbad knocking off Belen yesterday by a score of 18-0. So it's Goddard against Carlsbad today at 4 o'clock. In the semifinal of the Artesia tournament. Meanwhile, the Artesia softball tournament is also starting today, and Goddard and Roswell are both in it. The Goddard Lady Rockets 3-2 will take on a 5-4 Silver team. That's today, and tonight Roswell makes its season opening debut by taking on host Artesia at 7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Iran fired missiles in the vicinity of the American consulate in Iraq, and the U.S. continues to charge ahead, along with other powers, to sign a nuclear agreement that will give the Ayatollahs a nuclear arsenal and also help make the Ayatollahs rich again, the mullahs in Iran rich again, just like Western Europe is making Putin and Russia rich again. No deal is with Iran is better than a bad deal. We don't need a deal with Iran right now. But Joe, what? He's so desperate for energy. He's so desperate to appease his climate alarmist cult religion that is the new Green Deal Democratic Socialist Party. I mean, this is insanity.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Figure is different from all other refinancing that I've experienced. Hi, I'm Chaz Ryan, and I use Figure for a home equity line of credit. I found Figure, and it was a very easy application to make. My loan was funded within 7 to 10 days.
Join Chaz and the 50,000 other happy customers. Figure out your finances at Figure.com. Figure Lending, LLC. Equal Opportunity Lender. NMLS 1717824. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Figure.com for more information.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking at low 60s today with cool high pressure moving in from the Rockies. We'll have plenty of sunshine and a little bit gusty wind, occasionally up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight will be clear, low 30s, and then we warm into the mid 70s with plenty of sun coming up for Saturday. A few clouds Saturday night, sunny and up to 80 on Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
This time of year, we all like to have fun talking about four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, and the luck of the Irish. But when it comes to finding a nice pre-owned vehicle you can really count on, you need more than just luck. You need a dealer like Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Great-looking late-model pickups, SUVs, sports cars, and family sedans. But more important than how they look is how they run, so Roswell Ford puts every one through a rigorous 139-point inspection. On top of that, Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee, so if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. That's a lot more than luck. That's true peace of mind. And if you really have a nice car or truck you'd like to sell, please bring it by. We'll look it over and make you an offer on the spot. So when you're ready to move up to a newer vehicle, don't take chances. Come see your friends at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, and leave your rabbit's foot at home.
Simon the Magician's request in Acts 8 was motivated by the same illusion of power that drives so many people in today's business, political, and entertainment areas. Popular culture invests actors, sports figures, and other celebrities with the appearance of unusual significance. Even among Christians, there exists a strong tendency to create power figures out of preachers, and singers, writers, and even megachurch leaders. But God's power has little or nothing to do with outward appearances or worldly acclaim. Simon had adopted the world's perspective on power. Showered with uncritical praise, he became obsessed with himself and his supposed importance. Tragically, he viewed others through the same distorted lens. What about you? Have you given in to the illusion of power? Or do you listen to those who aren't impressed with your status and will level with you about your weaknesses? How much do status and position define who you are? Suppose you were to lose it all. What would you do then? Just some thoughts.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center. It's otherworldly.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A U.S. quarter has 119 grooves at its edge. A dime has one less groove. So by definition, that makes a dime less groovy. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for us. If you missed any part of our show, check it out at your leisure, ksvptv.com. We had a full slate of guests here today, and we'll be back bright and early Monday morning. Have an amazing weekend. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM